The windows shook in Truro, Nova Scotia, 60 miles away, and sailors at sea heard the explosion 100 miles out. Hello, Canada, and welcome back to our continuing coverage of these Canadian curling trials. The date, December the 6th of 1917. Halifax that year was a staging point for both, troops and supplies going to the war in Europe, World War I. But on that fateful morning at 9:05, the French munitions ship, the Mont Blanc, came together with a Norwegian vessel, the Imo, and the resulting fire and explosion devastated, flattened the northern part of Halifax, killing some 2,000 and injuring 9,000 more. And on this date, every year, December the 6th, and at precisely that time, 9:05, Halifax remembers the great explosion. As we go to the Metro Centre now and say hello again to Lyndon Ray.
It was truly a disaster, Victor, and there was a very heavy snowfall the next day, and the people of Boston were some of the very first people to react and to help and to give relief. And to this day, the city of Halifax sends a Christmas tree to the people of the area of Boston to thank them for that.
Well, that's a true neighbor and a great thing to do in a time of need. We have terrific action at the curling, of course, and that's what we're going to talk about next. And it's the women's play that's coming up. One game today, and in the standings so far, it's former Canadian champion Stephanie Lawton and Kelly Scott, champions at the junior level, and now playing so well here in Halifax. At 3 and 2, Sherry Anderson, Jennifer Jones, and Sherry Madaw. Yes, they're all above 500. Along with these teams that are trying to get to 500, Jan Becker, Colleen Jones, Shannon Kleibrink, and Joanne Rizzo. It's so close in that part of the standings. On through Marie-France LaRouche at 0 and 5. Now, we have two very good teams. Sherry Anderson, a runner-up in the past. This is a solid team, Ray.
It is a good team, Linda, but they really have struggled a little bit, since that Olympic trials a number of years ago. But, they won a game last night that I think is very important to them, to give them a good feeling, and I think that they're ready to bounce back. We know they can shoot, that's for sure.
And they're a little defense-oriented. We haven't seen a lot of aggressive play from them. The third and the skip must make those big weight shots, but you can't ignore the fact that they do get to the big game time after time. Now, they are playing a very good team, and it is Shannon Kleibrink, who was runner-up the trials before.
Yeah. Well, the thing about Shannon is that I like this team for sure. I thought they would do well in this event. And they've lost a couple games they maybe shouldn't have lost. One in particular where they were 3-up coming home. So they haven't been curling badly, but you have to win the games too. So this is a huge game for them as well. But they got all the shots in them, so this should be a good game to watch.
And they're a very dangerous team when they get to the playoffs, but they have to get there. And right now, it's inconsistent play. In my opinion, Amy Nixon must play well for her skip, Shannon Kleibrink.
We're going to hop right to it. Sherry Anderson, the team, doing the bunny hop here in Halifax. Anderson Kleibrink when we come back.
The 2005 Tim Hortons Canadian Curling Trials on TSN are brought to you by Tim Hortons Limited Canister and Mug. The 2005 Tim Hortons Canadian Curling Trials on TSN are brought to you in part by Ford, built for life in Canada. By Strauss Herb Company, makers of the original Strauss Heart Drops, when only the best will do. And by Scott Paper Limited, proud sponsor of curling for 25 years.
As we look across all the 5 sheets in play here at the Metro Centre, we welcome you on this Tuesday afternoon to the women's 6th draw. So let's show you some of the games. And it's Joanne Rizzo out of Brantford, Ontario, still very much alive as she takes on one of the front runners in Stephanie Lawton from Saskatoon, Jennifer Jones, and that's Kelly Scott from Kelowna, tied for the lead with Lawton. This is a very big game for Jan Becker and Colleen Jones. A 4th loss in past trials has not been good enough to get you to the playoffs. And Sherry Madaw against the so far winless Marie-France LaRouche. Let's meet the teams now. It's brought to you by True Value Hardware. Help is just around the corner. And for the Anderson team out of Delisle, Saskatchewan, it's Donna Gignac, Heather Walsh, Kim Hodson, and Sherry Anderson. The Kleibrink team plays out of the Calgary Winter Club in Calgary. Christine Keshen, Glennis Bacher, Amy Nixon, and their skip is Shannon Kleibrink. And it is the Anderson team that will throw first, playing the Red Stones. Kleibrink, the yellow, has the hammer. And so to get us underway, the Anderson lead is Donna Gignac.
Well, it'll be interesting, Linda, don't you think, to see, you know, who really gets aggressive first. And in this situation, Shannon has the last rock, so if and I think Sherry asked us for the top of the 4-foot, so will Shannon ignore, throw up a corner, or will she hit and play an open end?
We pretty well know that Sherry Anderson is a more defensive-minded skip. She will put the rocks in, will play more low-risk strategies, particularly without the hammer. Shannon, on the other hand, is our more aggressive skip of the two. We've just seen her maybe not find the right time to do it, and that has really cost her a couple of times. But we know that Shannon can make the big shot, and so rocks in play are probably a benefit for her.
Nice shot, gets it off the 4-foot, so if there's an exchange of stones here without a roll back to the center, Shannon's liable to throw up a corner with Christine's second one.
Donna Gignac missed a game earlier in round-robin competition, wasn't feeling well. Bronchitis, I believe, is what she's been suffering from, Linda.
And it's hard to brush as well as throw, Vic. You just run out of air as you're going down the ice, so it's really tough for Donna, but she's playing pretty well now. I think she's feeling a bit better.
So there won't be any offense in this end.
Kathy Gauthier is joining us the entire week. Kathy, hello.
Hello. I talked to Donna this morning before the game started. When she pulled herself out of the game, it was her decision earlier in the week. She was on day 4 of some medication for a lung condition that apparently was misdiagnosed a couple of times. By now, it's, you know, about day 10. She's feeling much better and, you know, offered the team that she felt that she could do the job, and that's why she's back in and playing much better.
Longtime member of this Anderson team. We've come to know them very well. One of the best bond-spieling teams on the tour, on the women's tour.
3. Yep, Bo, 3. Yep. Donna.
Sherry Anderson coming off the win that Ray was talking about over Marie-France LaRouche, but it was a hard-fought one. They had to get 3 in the last end, and there was a mistake by Marie-France for them to have the opportunity. But still, Ray, you're right. That's an important boost in confidence and an important day to do it that Monday, which is such a pivotal day as you're moving through the week.
Yeah, this is the time now. There's no, you can't wait for anything. You have to do it yourself. And there's a number of teams on the ice this afternoon that are in position to make, you know, a major difference to their opportunity to qualify. And as Vic mentioned, 4 losses has not done it in the past. It could occur here with the men in particular, but Victor's not very often wrong on those things.
Oh, well.
74.
In the past 2 trials, of course, of 97, 2001, both men and women, records of 2 and 3 got you in. And it remembers, too, that it's not the page playoff system that we're used to in the...
So that's the big difference.
The national championships. This is just 3 teams. And Linda, the reason for that is what?
Well, if you look at the fact that there are 10 teams here and 12 in the Nationals, I guess they think it didn't make a lot of sense to qualify all 4. I think the teams accept that. There was no controversy over the change in format. They felt it was better to have the top 10 men and women's teams here, get the best to go on to Italy.
Uh-oh. Glennis Bacher.
So 4.
We all know there's going to be mistakes in curling, but at this level of play, what you really aim for, and we talk a little bit about on teams that I coach, is to try to avoid those kind of misses. We call them unforced errors, where the shot was relatively simple, and sometimes that's when your focus drops and you don't have the same clarity of thought and focus on the target, you kind of just throw the stone, and those are the ones that end up really costing you, because that's the opportunity to get out of this end and move on and then set something up with a hammer.
Boy, you don't want to.
Right up, hard, all the way. Okay, Kim.
That's a mistake as well.
Yeah.
Not getting the guard on. Now is a chance for a hit and roll here.
Now the other thing too, could they not have just? I mean, you're playing third stones. Could you have split the rings and look to make your two that way and just exchange stones, or would you put the guard on and look for more?
Even board
Well,
or
Sherry
no?
Anderson doesn't have last rock, so she has to steal anything she gets here.
Okay.
So the play is to just play a tight
Play the
guard
tight and force
You
Shannon
could-
to come at her.
In answer to your question, you could split the rings and
Board,
forced her,
control,
to
control.
hit and stick to get her single. And if she gets only a single, you've done your job.
Right.
Yeah, it's not a bad plan, Vic. A lot of people do that, just to keep the rocks apart.
Hard. You're weak, Glennis, hard. That's good, nice throw. Yeah, just a bit away, but a bit up, like big weight, yeah.
Now, in fairness to Sherry Anderson on that guard, that's the side of the sheet that's very close to the stands, and we've found there's been a little bit more curl on that side of the sheet, but that rock ran down there fairly straight, Linda.
We've also found that at the beginning of games, they've had a little bit of practice time, and I think they make the assumption that there will be a little bit more curl than sometimes there is to start the game. There's not a lot of people in the building, it's cold, and we often see it fairly straight to start the game, and then as the pebble breaks down, we get more and more curl.
Yeah. It's a big difference, Annie. Nine, 8.5. Yep. Pretty big. Yep.
Amy Nixon throws the third stone for the Kleibrink team from Calgary.
Close. Yep. No. Yes. Whoa. Yes.
Another couple of turns. Boy, she almost gets it fully buried.
Yeah, nice roll. They just had to go a little bit more. They just had to brush a little
That's
bit
good.
more.
Next one.
They're tough. Those are tough to judge.
Nice shot. Perfect.
But it's so important to be able to judge those and call the brushing right. And if you make a lot of mistakes like that through the game, it'll cost you points, extra points. Now that was a tough roll. She almost made it perfectly.
If this grabs the line too soon, it might curl a little more.
The only
but
good
Amy
thing
needs
about
to let
this, the redstone is pretty tight to the rings, and so it's caused that little tiny bit of uncertainty. I mean, it's open enough to hit, but if it had rolled a tiny bit farther, you're in that in-between place of do you pick it or run your stone back, and those aren't bad things to plant the uncertain thought in your opposition skip.
The green light coming on the handle of the stone means a good throw.
She got to the center line awful quickly.
So Walsh now and Gignac trying to save it for the skipper, and they do.
Good brushing.
Hey, girl. Sorry. Good job.
I couldn't see it for a second. Your foot was in the way when I called you. Sorry about that. Good sweep, guys. Sorry, Kim. Should have kept my mouth shut. I couldn't see the rock, the side of the rock.
I didn't know why you were saying whoa to kick it to hit it hard.
No.
What? Oh, whoa to come by.
Yeah, no, but I said I couldn't.
So this is Anderson's record so far at 3-2. Wins her first two over a couple of very tough teams, and then drops the game to Madaw, and then loses to Joanne Rizzo, and last night hands a fifth straight loss to Marie-France LaRouche.
Maybe a little less than Amy's. Right off. 9.5. Right off. 9.5. Right off.
Those are good numbers for Shannon, but she's also been inconsistent. Looking for the roll.
Nice throw.
Elastic curled harder, eh? How's that? 9-8?
Part of the gift of calling the brushing correctly
You were
is
9-2
knowing
last
the
night.
ice very
Yeah.
well and anticipating the
throw,
breaks.
perfect
You,
throw.
you can't wait for it to, in many cases, you have to know that it's going to curl in this spot because it has done that often.
Good
So
throw.
You can see that
Throw. Straight up.
Shannon Kleibrink got off to a start with a win over Marie-France LaRouche, and then stumbled before finally getting it back on track yesterday.
And Shannon herself in that final win curled 97%. So I'm sure she's feeling a lot more confident today with that great game.
2, three. Whoa. Whoa, then. Whoa. Whoa, clean. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Whoa. Yep. Whoa.
Enough to jump it across, make it tough.
Atta girl.
Sure does.
Okay. That works. Just a 1 more inch.
Now there's that little yellow stone over there. She's looking for the blank here, I'm sure, but do you think that one will catch it?
Room to pick it.
It could, Vic, but she's going to be just hoping to get rid of the rock in the house. It's a tricky little spot. We saw Sherry throw a nice one down here, and it reacted very consistently, but you're always a little nervous when it's mostly covered.
Shannon Kleibrink, final stone, looking for the blank here in one.
Yep. Whoa. Yep. Yes!
Trying to hold it. Watch it ride the center line. How close it gets. Has it got enough room to get by?
Shot.
They do.
Shot.
And they'll miss the catcher on the side, and so we'll put a blank on the board here in the first. Anderson Kleibrink in Halifax.
It's okay.
So let's check early scores in this women's sixth draw. A blank in our featured game. Stephanie Lawton 4-1 grabs 2 against Joanne Rizzo. Jennifer Jones with a pair against Kelly Scott, tied for the lead at 4-1 with Lawton. Betker and Colleen Jones, blank. And Sherry Madaw with a single with the hammer against Marie Franz LaRouche. It's time to read the ice now with Ray, and Hans Wutterich and his ice crew have done a great job. They've really had a handle on it, haven't they?
Yeah, well, look at the numbers. The curl, they're very consistent. They haven't changed all week, and it really has been consistent. You have to watch when you throw weight, especially on the outside in shots, because they will run very, very straight. We know that the finish is late. In other words, it holds all the way down the ice, and then it breaks at the end. The slide path has been great, but you have to watch it 5th, 6th, 7th, and a little bit of flattening out. But it's consistent. That's what it's been, and that's why the curling has been superb.
Here at the Metro Center. Now that all may change, as Hans said to us earlier in the week. He's been getting some help from above, as he said. Weather's been dry, but there is snow in the forecast, and by the time we say hello to you tomorrow, they're talking about anywhere from 5 to 7 centimeters of snow.
And that will make a difference. It's been so nice and dry in here, you know. It's but if you get some humidity in here, they do have it. They have the equipment to handle it, but and then also at the later end of the week, the crowds will be bigger. And
Okay, Heather, like you can.
It's been really nice for the players. The first day we saw a little bit of inconsistent play, I think, because of the difficulties reading the ice, but really after Sunday, they got a handle on it. Now, there's a lot of things relating to the ice. It's how the player feels on the ice, as you slide across it. We've had a hog drop this end, and that's actually very unusual. Christine Keshen came up short on a come-around attempt after the center line guard was put up. But we've seen so many good draws made on this ice.
Linda, let's check the ice times. They're brought to you by Ford, built for life in Canada.
Well, the same with the amount of curl. The speed has been very consistent. The draw speed between the hog lines 14 to 14.5 seconds. A little faster early. The 6th, 7th, 8th end starts to slow a bit. Hack 11.5 and guard 15.5 up to 16 or even more. It really does slide nicely.
Here, yeah.
And so once you do get that feel, you can often hang on to it because of that great consistency.
Ready for the roll. Going that way. I'll let it go. Yeah, atta girl.
I think the real huge benefit too is what you talk about, Ray. If we look down the side that they're about to throw down, Heather's playing very wide shot. There isn't any frost, and that's huge because it doesn't just affect the execution of the shot, it then also impacts back on the tactical plan. You don't put the corner guards wide. You don't want to be playing out there. You have to play the inside out turn because it's too difficult to play the outside turn because you're on the frost line.
And that particular path and shot is a good example of that. We've played on ice surfaces where that when the rock gets over the edge of that 12-foot, Victor, you know, they become very difficult shots to, you know, you can hit them, but if you're playing the outside in, you're taking the middle of the stone. And then if you play the inside-out shot at it, you have to take about 5 or 6 or 8 inches of ice. And if the frost line is there, they can react differently.
Pretty big! Pretty big! Yep! Hard!
Glennis Bucker.
Hard! Right to it! Right to it! Right to it! Whoa!
Nixon and Keshen with the brush. And she'll sit it right there.
Okay. Nice big guy. Hey. Still
Linda,
a
have they ever
0?
done any studies
Yep.
with regards to peripheral vision and distraction, and maybe those shots, when you've got boards beside you, become more of a distraction? It's difficult. It's more difficult throwing to the 12-foot to the wings.
You know, it's interesting, Vic, because as I mentioned, I do a lot of coaching, and one of the things we were talking about doing in BC is a study on just vision in general, because it hasn't been really studied, and it's involved in everything. If you think of the importance of vision in judging the speed as a brusher going down the ice. And then, Vic, there are no cues really as you're sliding out, except your eye traveling over the ice and judging the speed, along, of course, with the feel of the muscles. But there's so much to do with vision. To answer you, I don't believe so. And one thing that these players do, Amy Nixon and the others that have a lot of experience, they try to go to a lot of different buildings so they get used to different looks. So your eye gets used to it. And it's interesting, somebody told me, I won't name the teams that are involved here, but there are teams that actually come in here, say several days before they're going to start play, and they do that depth perception session where they actually stand around the arena and start to look at where all the walls are and what it looks like and what that means for distances, and they actually prepare their eyes for the event.
Kim Hodson. Shannon Kleibrink playing the Yellowstones has the hammer.
I'd be very surprised if Shannon, if she hits that stone, she should come around.
I'm surprised. She's been doing it actually all end, and I was surprised previously. It's a long roll. She's not having success with it.
The same weight.
They had the one hogged rock, but the path of the stone coming in behind that red guard would have been fine. They just need the right speed.
But this is an opportunity. You have the last rock after blanking the first and can keep the last rock. That rock is biting the 12-foot. I mean, you've got to take a chance in this game, and you get around that guard and put the. This is a game of pressure. Sure, you can roll over there, and she may get the nice roll, but.
And she does. That's a beauty.
Pretty good roll. That rock in the 12-foot shouldn't have been of any concern to her.
It would be different, Vic, if that was the only way to get there. If we didn't have swingy ice, that is a tool, of course, to get positioning rocks, is to play hits and rolls. But they're very difficult. Very nice shot in that case, but it's not as difficult to play come-arounds, and this ice does give it to you.
I think better runner back, guys.
A great roll by Amy. Linda mentioned in her opening comments that the difference in this game can be Amy. She's been a little inconsistent during the week, so if she put a good game together, it'll make a difference. But I was really surprised that Shannon did not draw there. Having said that, Amy got the great roll for her, and now Sherry has to play a run back.
Anderson and her first here in the second. Kim Hodson calling everybody off. Run it back. Gets it, and look at this roll. Peeks out the other side just that much.
That's a nice shot. She just had to get that rock out of
Absolute
there.
good shot.
Wasn't a lot she could
Thanks.
do otherwise,
See,
and
like all year, we never
I'm
played
sure
any
Shannon will
runbacks.
ignore it.
We played a ton since we've been here. I know.
Mind it's nice ice to run back on.
You hear that?
Yes. Nice ice to run back on. As soon as you up the weight, it runs straight enough that you can, with a 9-second hit even, not the huge weight, you can get it to run pretty straight.
A little heavy here?
So what do you think for a split?
7? Yep.
They talk about splits. That's from the back line right there to the first hog line, and they're talking about 3.7 seconds. Relates to that 14-second hog-to-hog draw time I was speaking of.
Well, if you can.
Room?
Look, take a look.
Loads of room, guys. Well, if you can.
We're good,
Needs
good.
to catch, Carl. Well then, no.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
No.
Well, we're deep. Okay,
All right, I have to ask you here because let's go back to what you said,
Let's
Ray.
go, Chris. Yep.
Gotta go.
She played the hit on the stone, which was on the edge of the 12, and ignored the draw. Now, I granted, you're not going to get, or it'd be difficult to get a hit and roll in behind, but she's decided to ignore the stone full in the 12, and she could get it. Or is that not available to her?
Well, it's a tough shot to start with to hold the shooter. You can get it, and you can't get the inside roll. So it was a 2-on-1 scenario as far as she was concerned. Now she had a little too much ice because the weight was perfect, and she didn't get the movement she wanted. But it was a chance for her to make a good come around to maybe score 2 points, Vic. She made a really good shot here. Unfortunately, it stayed in the open a bit.
Taking a live look at the game between Betker and Colleen Jones after a blank in 1. You see Betker's stone center line, top 8. Colleen Jones had a chance to hit to lie 3, crashed on the guard. So now it's a chance for 2 for Betker in the second.
That's less. Line's good.
Yep.
Easy, guys.
Easy.
Easy, guys.
Whoa.
Easy.
Whoa, off, Donna.
Easy.
Yeah. Clean is fine. Roll, Donna. Stay in, Donna, as long as we stay in. Right over, farther.
Betker gets her 2. And Kleibrink will face a couple with her last one.
Well, in that game, too, as you mentioned, Vic, Colleen Jones, the rock was 3/4 open, maybe almost fully open. And she had a chance to hit that and put Jan Betker in a position to have to draw against 3. And she missed it and gave Jan an open draw for the second point. Those are big shots.
And again, that's a big game for both those teams. Yeah, both coming in at 3 losses.
Little more.
Outside in shot. You have to be so careful with this.
Clean. Good shot.
For the
Good throw.
single.
Good throw.
1 yellow.
1 yellow it is, 1 for Kleibrink. So she'll take the early lead. When we come back, Sherry Anderson, the Lyle, Saskatchewan, will have the hammer. We'll continue our updates with the game between Joanne Rizzo and Stephanie Lawton. Look at all the yellow. 7 of the 8 Lawton stones are in play. Yet Joanne Rizzo at 2 and 3 has an out against the 4 and 1 Lawton from Saskatoon. Rizzo from the Brant Curling Club in Brantford, Ontario, has the hit there for 2. And so they're tied at 2 going to the third. Right in the center of it all here at the Metro Center on sheet C, Jennifer Jones at 3 and 2 out of the St. Vital in Winnipeg, scored 2 with the hammer. Against Kelly Scott from Kelowna at 4 and 1 and tied with Lawton for first place going into this and coming into this 6th draw of women's play. And remember, Scott has been the steal master here, stealing 3 of her 4 wins, makes the hit for 2 and a 2-2 tie. As we welcome you back to our continuing coverage of the Canadian Curling Trials from Halifax. Shannon Kleibrink makes the hit to stick.
Right to my break.
Scores 1, and for the first time, Sherry
Worried it
Anders
might be
has
4.
the hammer as we play in the third.
No, no.
We haven't seen a lot of Joanne Rizzo, of course, on the national scene, but I'll tell you what, I've been impressed with some of the shot making, some of the shots she's made. That was a good shot she made there for 2. She threw it absolutely perfect to get her second point. Last night, she made a draw against Jan Bedker, Linda, that was very, very difficult. Not so much the weight of the stone as the calling of the ice of that stone, because she had a very small port or window to come through, and it was a great shot for the win.
I have to like the fact that she shows no fear. We saw all the opponent's stones in the rings, and she still got her deuce, and I really like that.
Yeah.
We're seeing a very open game, and that is a little bit of a tendency now. We talked about partly teams that were struggling, wanting to make sure that they don't put themselves in a lot of risk because they don't want to fall back in the standings. But at some point, you have to go with the game that got you there, and Joanne Rizzo is a fairly aggressive skip, as is Shannon Kleibrink. So at some point, I'm looking for Shannon to change the pattern we see so far.
Yeah, because she hasn't showed it in this game whatsoever. And it's not like her. I mean, we've seen her play in national mixed finals, and we watched her over the years. I watched her play in Winnipeg this year when she was there for the Casinos of Winnipeg Bonspiel, and
Real nice. Good shooting.
played very aggressively and had a good
I
run.
don't know. Really? Yeah. Okay, well, watch.
But I
Maybe I'm
feel that. I don't mind going 20.
I kind of like the hit and roll.
Okay.
You can't continually be on the defense in curling. She's going to hit this corner guard, try and roll to the center.
Whoa!
The other interesting part I find, we're only in the third end, and there's a little bit of questioning back and forth whether they should hit it or put up the guard. You definitely at this stage of the game, with the game very close, score is not a factor, time is not a factor, should have a plan as to how you want to approach it. And it seems like they're just not decisive. I said in the scouting report, Shannon Kleibrink was one of the most decisive skips in women's play, and I'm not necessarily seeing that. Now, losses can do that to you. That can rattle you a little bit, and you back off your usual plan.
3 upcoming home losses can do that too.
Yeah,
Got
that's
90,
very
but-
true.
Still, it's more offense in some of the games
Gripper mark?
than we saw last night, for example. It was very, very wide open on all the sheets.
Okay. Have a
mean,
There
look
was
got-
very few points per
Yeah.
end.
We've got, I mean, we've got five deuces up on the board already, and we're only in the third. It took us till the fifth to get 5 deuces last night.
And we're down to Amy's Nixon's first stone. We're going to peel the corner guard again, try and roll this time, roll the shooter into the rings.
12 points in the first 10 ends.
Hard. Hard. All 9 now. Go hard. 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 Yep. Whoa. 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 We're good. Got a girl.
As she goes, Amy, as the team go?
She really is normally a very consistent player and a very high level player, and this is her so far, very up and down. Look at the big 93% in the third draw, and then down again in the fourth draw to 63. It's been a up and down bumpy ride for Amy, and you're right, Vic, to me she is the key player on the Kleibrink team.
That's a great graphic. Going to be a little tricky when they get to about 7 draws up there.
Got a girl.
But if you watch her delivery, she has a beautiful delivery and normally is so consistent. The line is no question really she's going to be on the line, but she hasn't really had the feel so far.
Yep.
Just a little arrow coming out, the hand going to target.
Hard. Real hard. Whoa. Hard. Hard. Yep. Whoa. Whoa, Chris, your way. Hard.
That's good. Nice weight, Kim. Good job. Narrow. You got an out turn. Narrow. Yeah. Narrow. Recovery.
Yeah, not enough though, eh?
Pretty good though.
The one thing you have to be careful with too, we see a lot of people, we can have the great benefit of hearing them. You can't beat yourself up over the fact that you are having a little struggle. You've just got to move on. And it sounds so easy. We all have those struggles of letting go of the mistakes, but you have to in this competition. It's just too tiring to be always dwelling on the mistakes.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So that'll end up sliding a long way, so we can see how fast it is this early part of the game.
Anderson at 3-2. Kleibrink at 2-3.
Like last night, yeah.
Maybe that's what's affecting her thought process here. Another loss, she realizes, would put her in a lot of trouble.
You can see the ice being taken for this outside in shot, Vic. Actually on the inside of the stone.
Hard! Yep! Hard! Yep! Real hard! Real hard! Real hard! Right up! No roll.
And even with that that light weight, Russians were able to hold that. There was no curl there at all.
The only thing that Shannon's doing that's a little interesting is she's actually giving herself the straighter turn in her team, the curling turn, the inside-out turn. And it's just a little unusual to flip-flop like that during an end.
Right over on your side there for a bite if you want to roll her over there. Okay. Yeah, Sarah, hit first.
This lady likes open play, and people talk about mental toughness with the aggressive game, but if you're going to keep it pretty open the whole game, you have to realize that you also have to be mentally tough. You have to be ready going into 9 and 10 to set yourself up and make the one very key big shot to win.
Yep. Right down. Whoa.
First stone for Sherry Anderson, who has been to 4
Right over.
Scott Tournament of Hearts as the Saskatchewan representative.
One side or the other. Make noses. Okay. Thrown in, turn that right.
And as we mentioned, she was the runner-up to Kelly Law at the trials of 2001.
A little tightish.
Just a hair thing. Straight out note there, though. Or did you think it was a little softer?
Well,
Little less. That's a little more than you had, isn't it? From down here? A little less.
Well, I guess Shannon is favoring her out turn. I had looked, and she doesn't have a huge difference in the stats so far, but it's clear she's playing the outside in turn on the one side and inside out on the other to stick with the out turn.
9.5. Clean. You're good. Clean it. We're nosing. Yep, a little bit. Okay, we're good.
It's a good chance.
I don't think I want to take too much more than that. I gave you there for nose.
It was Shannon playing the inside out turn and Sherry playing the outside in turn.
Right off. I wasn't gonna throw.
But she is trying to blank, so this is the straight turn. Should run straight down.
Meant to get the weight, but I got 3 minutes, so.
10.
Yep. Hard, guys. Hard.
Final stone here in the third, looking for the blank,
Okay, Sarah.
Okay.
and won't get it.
Okay, sure.
So it's tied 1-1, and Shannon Kleibrink will have the hammer to start the fourth.
All right. One red. No problem.
Betker and Jones, as Colleen Jones.
Well, Colleen missed a great opportunity in the last end to really put some pressure on Jan Betker, but Jan just paid her back with by missing, ticking a shot here, allowing Colleen this draw for 3, I believe it is.
We'll have a look. 1 yellow. Sure looks like 2, and if it stops in time, back 4. It will be for 3. Both those teams sitting at 3 losses. Spetker, Jones, here in Halifax. We welcome you back to the Metro Center in Halifax. We want to go live to the game between Jennifer Jones and Kelly Scott in a 2-2 tie, and you see that yellow stone.
I can see a little bit.
8 foot, maybe biting top of the 4. That belongs to Scott, and Jennifer Jones in some trouble.
Just playing an angle raise. We're right behind that sheet, and boy,
I wouldn't throw it if I didn't think it was.
she can't see much of it, Linda.
It looks impossible from where we sit, but they've taken a long look at it. And Jennifer thinks there's enough of the stone showing to make contact with the one in the house.
She tried it earlier and missed. This is a battle of former teammates when they were juniors in Manitoba. Scott and Jones, both from Winnipeg. And this one, she will not be able to cut across. And so it's a steal of 1 and a 3-2 lead. Kelly Scott at 4-1. Kathy Gauthier?
Well, just going to mention that Jennifer, I think, chose that shot because she played a hack weight shot on her first one, attempting to raise that cornerstone, Vic. It just went by on the outside. I think that even though it looked difficult, she felt confident in her own mind that she knew the ice. It just didn't work out.
I don't think the shot was there, Kathy.
I agree. From here, Moosey, there's not a heck of a lot of rock that she could see.
No, we just happened to be right behind that sheet, and she was going to started out going to play the intern draw. All she needed to do was bite the edge of the forefoot for a single point. I think she played a shot that was not there.
I agree.
Come back to our featured game in the 6th draw. Sherry Anderson, Shannon Kleibrink tied 1-1 as we play the 4th, and it's Kleibrink with the yellow stones that has the hammer.
It's all right.
Just not getting consecutive draws here. A nice come around by the Kleibrink team on their first attempt, and their red stone was then played into the rings, but a crash on the guard on the second attempt to come around.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. How was the weight? Close?
You know better than I do, though. It was, I got 76, but you were going to be 8 foot top.
Oh, really?
Like it wasn't enough for what we were playing.
Okay. But it just froze, yeah. Sorry, it's just a bit tight there.
Yeah, I never like to hear when you're in the hack that you got to get pretty tight to the guard. Shouldn't think
I
of
know
it.
it.
Kind of makes me nervous.
7 to 8.
Heather Walsh, who throws the second stone for Anderson.
8.
Walsh, a longtime alternate player before joining the team. In fact, she was the alternate in the trials of 4 years ago. Updating Madon LaRouche. 1-0 Sherry Madoff from the Coldwater District Curling Club in Central Ontario against Marie-France LaRouche from Saint-Foy and Saint-Romuald. LaRouche still looking for her first win. Thought she might have it last night. Failed to close out the game. Huge scrub by the front end, trying to sneak it by that center guard. And nice rushing. And they'll get their single.
Nice shot.
Did you see the shooter where it went, Vic?
On the Kleibrink team. They played 2 stones side by side, Vic, so you're going to get action, and the shooter went up the house. We know how much you like that.
I was looking at the other game. Sorry, Ray. I missed
You knew
it.
you would have loved it.
Okay.
Just thought I'd point it out. No, it's one of your favorite things.
And I missed it.
2. Whoa! 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 All right.
Got all of it.
Oh, I knew that.
So although the Yellowstone did back up the house and ended up now third shot, it's still in a position where it could come into play. And now you just keep maneuvering the rocks. A little hit and roll here by Glennis to the other side is the call.
9. Rolls, yep. Higher.
The double and roll is possible.
Go. Yes. Go. Atta girl.
And gets the roll, Glennis Bacher. And it's been interesting around our hotel because Glennis and her husband Adrian and young Sarah, Kathy Gauthier, has been part of the hotel life too.
Well, she has, and Sarah certainly has exhibited some strong-willed independence. Adrian's plan was to bring her. Glennis goes off the ice at the 5th and breaks all the time to nurse the baby. She's decided she's not at all interested in taking the bottle, and so the plan to go home today has been replaced by an emergency call to Glennis's mother last night, who is en route right now and will stay in the building for the rest of the week with the baby while Adrian goes home to their 2.5-year-old son. Moosey, hard to believe, I know, but another strong-willed woman.
Oh, okay, you want to start this up, do you?
Yeah, Ryan's at home, and Ryan is 2.
Very nice shot. That is a great shot. Got the great roll.
Well,
Got to take the angle away from her, I think.
almost 3/4.
Sitting on,
I think so.
just sitting on the face of it.
We can move it a hair. Stay right on it.
Just touch it a little
Top
bit.
8. Top 8. It's T-line.
T-line weight.
Yep. Looks really good. Hard. Hard. Yeah, hard, guys. 3-line. Hard.
Cashin and Bacher picking it up very early.
Room. Room. Yes. Room. Yes. Room. Yep. Yep.
I'd like to move it a bit if you could.
No, we're to it. Just to it. Hard. 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 Nice shot. Much, Curl.
Yeah, this is where it starts to get interesting because you're in a great spot if you're Sherry Anderson closing down the rings. You have to look at what's possible, what can be moved onto that combination of 3 stones near the 4-foot to favor the yellow team.
But she's running a red in.
I know, but she knows that she's sitting 2 behind 3 guards.
So do you want to, can I
think we
come
either
around
gotta
on
kinda
top?
Come around a bit.
And if I just tuck around the red and sit top 12, that's not
I
terrible.
think so. I mean,
I'm good
she's
with
still
that.
got that.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to freeze in there.
But a freeze wouldn't be terrible, would it?
Well, a freeze again, she just tap, she's sitting 2. Let's not make it too easy for her, but I don't want to leave
So you
want to
just tap around top
I think
12?
yeah.
Okay.
It's all right.
Perfect.
No, if it curled less, then she could. You had to bury your rock, basically.
Shannon has a guard out in front, but it's at a bad angle to come into that combination. It's actually the red stone has the best angle to move the yellow onto red and move the red out.
Okay.
And that's why Sherry has chosen to come around the red stone with Kim's shot.
Just going to be careful not to move that red guard.
Line's pretty good. It's all weight.
4-5.
Line's good. Let it curl.
Just a 3-4.
Gotta move. Let it move. Let it move.
4. 3-4. 4. 4.
Former Canadian junior champion Kim Hodson.
Yes, hurry hard. Hurry hard.
Oh, sorry, sir.
Shot.
She did exactly what she wanted to do.
Well, that's perfect.
Yeah.
No thought of peeling, you guys?
Lining something up. Right
Yeah,
here's good.
the double peel.
can run it in later. Right here's fine.
Okay.
You don't like that?
Well, there's no thought of that, right?
What's that?
No thought of peeling. I'm just making sure you're not.
Can't hear ya.
I can't yell. Sorry, guys. Okay. Yeah. I just said there's no thought of peeling, but we really
Well, I
can't
did, but
because
the
the
double
angles.
peel goes right into the ring.
Yeah.
So.
A live look at Betker and
Put one just
Colleen Jones. Jan
right
Betker
there.
from
Just
the
can't do
Colleen
anything with it.
Regina,
Just doesn't guard
Colleen
it, we
from
run
the
it in. Even if she did guard it, we
Mayflower
won't
right
keep
here in
her from
Halifax,
running
both
from
at
this
2 and
angle.
3. And as we take a look, this will be the final stone for Colleen Jones in the 4th, as Betker, playing the Redstones, does have the hammer.
Wait. Colleen has a great one on the button, protected. She's trying to hit out the Betker rock. Just has to be careful where she rolls.
Marianne Arsenault, Kim Kelly, Nancy Delahunt making the call. Gets the double to lie 3.
Nice shot by Colleen. Jan Becker really is bitten by the snake because she threw a perfect first stone and it just rubbed the front guard and set up what you saw. And Colleen didn't make any mistake in getting out of there. On our sheet, they decided to play the out turn, trying to place a stone in position so that they can maybe raise it later.
Where are you? 5, 5, 5, whoa, 5, whoa.
I might have a switch.
Needs to die, yup, yeah,
Trying to rub in. Hard. Okay. Hard. Right to it. Right to it.
You may have heard Jan Betker say what we're trying to do here is a little rub, move it enough, and roll in to catch enough of the button to be shot stone. Final rock is on its way.
Sorry, Shannon. Went too deep. At least
Facing
it's
3. Marcia Gooderite on the left. Joan McCusker on the right.
It will curl. It just all depends on her weight. Good shot.
Oh, very nice to grab the top of the button for a single point. Facing 3.
Holy crap, that walks.
What about getting another rock in there? What about coming around? I mean, if you stop here, that's not terrible. And if we come around to here, that's great. But can you get through there? You can't get in there.
I was just thinking, what if I even just threw one back here?
Or here.
That was a nice shot by Amy. Anything now run into the top yellow. We'll go yellow, yellow, red.
I know. I like that. I like that.
Right?
Yeah.
And you can see Sherry, she needs to get another rock in the ring is what
I mean,
she's
if
saying.
I bury it there, that's okay.
Yeah.
I think get full 8 so that we're 4th shot anyway, eh?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think she can see enough of that to do
No,
anything.
she can't do anything here. She can do damage with that one. Not
You
with
might
this.
as-
Not with this
No.
one so much. It's the red
No,
rock,
it's the one
right?
on center line.
Well,
But
what
Sherry,
about right here then, Kim?
because she still has this, right? She can play this with. I don't know if you can see that.
She can't see any of it. Donna says she can't
I don't
see
think
it.
she can see it. I don't think so.
It overcurled there.
Okay,
I think
then
yes.
let's go there. I was thinking.
They can't, the one they're talking
The
about,
other thing I was
they
thinking
can't
is if
see
we go
this one.
Here, where this is gonna, like, if she plays this,
They can't see that.
onto ours that you just throw.
The stone they seem concerned about is
But I don't want
not
to
leaving her this here
She's sitting 2 behind me
Okay.
and get 3.
Okay.
and then driving that one back to that. So there was some talk earlier
I guess I got to just,
About
I got to
going
get the
in
center line though.
here,
Actually, a little less,
trying to
Kim.
get a rock someplace over here.
You can't? Oh, you can.
Yeah. I didn't think you could.
And it looks to me,
Yeah.
Linda, are they
But
playing the
she's gonna
guard?
play it
They
with
are
pretty
playing
good
the
weight
guard.
to it.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
and
you.
it's so straight there with any kind of weight. I don't know, guys. I think the most dangerous rock is that red one. We either got to guard the red run in, or we try to get another rock in the rings.
So you're guarding?
We're guarding, just
Okay.
over the hog line though,
Okay.
right?
That was the only thing about Amy's shot. It was a lovely shot, and yes, anything on that top Yellowstone, top 8-foot can make the red go, but it curled so much it's not peeking out at all. If it had been peeking out a bit, Sherry couldn't guard both options, and she probably would be playing into the rings.
Be good.
Just over.
Yeah. One.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Just
Where
over.
are we?
Might have to go to get it over.
Whoa.
Just over. Whoa, just over.
No, we're good.
Just over. Whoa, no, 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 no.
Just cleaning, just cleaning.
Nice shot.
Atta girl.
Can you slash it pretty high into the 4? Not really, eh? Like that's so.
How about 7-3?
Yeah.
Doesn't help us.
Doesn't really help us. Well, you can hit the 3.
Pick this and leave it.
Updating Madaw and LaRouche in a 1-1 tie as they play
I like
the
that.
4th.
Yep. I think you're right, Shan.
Sherry Madaw among the contenders at 3-2 coming into this draw. Final stone out of the Coldwater and District Curling Club.
We just gotta
Andrea
slash it
Laws on the
without
left,
touching the other one.
Sherry Cardina on the
Double
right.
push, it goes right into the rings.
Kirsten
Gotta
Wall
hit
calling the
inch.
line. And drawing against
The other thing is to put another
2.
one back out there again that we might
And she'll
possibly
put it back
run in.
for the single and a 2-1
This
lead.
way. And she's just gonna replace the guard. Yeah, but it's dangerous because if I touch the second red, it goes right into the pack and leaves them shot.
The reason she's afraid of the double peel is that if you hit the top one and it
Talking about another one.
catches the front,
Because it
the
doesn't
other
look that
front
good
red
from
one,
down
it
there.
might squirt it into the rings.
Slash it pretty good without touching 6 in.
Yeah, but am I that worried? Like seriously, if we do happen to touch 6 in, is it that bad?
Yeah, because it touches the red onto the pin.
True, but
How
it
about
might
this?
give us another option. Okay, but if we do that
Yeah.
and she throws it like right here, we
Well,
got
she has to
nothing.
be perfect because otherwise I can double run it in, right?
Yeah, but if you do this, she puts it anywhere, we're gonna have a shot, right?
I know, but this is just looking so dicey. All right. Try
Well,
it.
if you want to.
There's room. There's
I'm
room.
not trying to.
There's room.
If you want to, we can do it.
Should we call time?
Live look
whatever
at
you want.
Scott
I don't
and
care. You wanna do
Jones
this?
with Kelly Scott having stolen one in the 3rd to lead 3-2. Final stone from Jennifer
like the double
Jones
kill
will
on the top
face
one, the
2
little
with
thing
her
on the
last
top
draw.
one? You get the double kill? That'll let
It doesn't help us anymore. One's there.
That's Jill Officer on the left, Georgina Wheatcroft on the right. The front end for this team out of the St. Vital Curling Club in Winnipeg. With Kathy Overton Clapham calling the line.
Whoa! Yep! Hard! Whoa! Whoa!
Very nice judgment. They jumped on that right away.
And the run back doesn't work for Kleibrink, and so
A couple more stones to come there, though, Vic. She was just trying to get that off.
Jones gets the single to tie her game.
Yeah, that was a peel. It was funny. The 2 red stones out in front could have been double peeled now for a couple of shots. And I know Shannon's worried about the way if she pushed something into the rings, what might happen. But this is such a great chance, has been such a great chance to generate more than the single point. And this is the thing I talk about where there's risk reward, and there might have been a pretty big reward even if you risked pushing that second red one in and rearranging those rocks. You still might have left yourself something.
Something, yeah, because of the fact that those 2 yellows are
I think
just
a little
wired
further.
on the face of the other red one.
So crucial for Anderson to get this guard in the perfect spot.
No good.
Yeah.
Yep. It'll give him one. I
Yeah,
think,
look, it's on
pretty
that
much for
side
sure.
by like 7/8. 4.
If it's anywhere out fairly close to the house, it can be used, Vic. So the key of this is either leave it long or get an angle that's not so good into the house.
You heard her say she just wanted to cross the hog line.
Oh, that's pretty light.
Line's good.
Same thing. Out there.
Line's
Hold it out.
good.
Line's good. Whoa.
We're one. Clean only.
We
Where
thought
are
it
we
was light out of her
exactly?
hand.
Maybe
Whoa,
two.
You
whoa.
see a very high number on the clock as they want it to stop any time now.
Sit. Sit. Sit.
Boy, now she left a corner available.
Well, you haven't got a lot to lose.
I
nice
Wait,
one.
no,
I didn't is what you're moving.
It's hard to see if she, from here to tell whether she can see what she can see. There's a.
That's tougher. No, Glennis, it's. Sorry, man, not a chance.
If you hit it here. Maybe if you hit it there. But you could also give him one this way.
Yeah.
It's very highly unlikely this way.
I know what you're saying, but I'm not trying that because I'll just hit the red maybe. I like this. It's basically just a hair over nose.
Yeah, or you can play the middle ones too.
like
It's
this
either
one.
one. Okay.
Just a hair over nose.
And the red goes.
Move your feet. Okay.
The yellow won't go a long way. It may hang in there to.
It's a long raise, and it's also just by the other red guard in order to make this.
Final stone, Shannon Kleibrink. In the fourth, a 1-1 tie. Doesn't get to the nose, gets it that way. Oh my, oh my!
Amy was in a terrible position to brush that stone.
But you know what? She's going to get away with two.
Yeah, she is. But you have to be in position for that kind of thing, Linda. It's something that you have to be aware of. I think she moved it far
You guys need
enough.
to follow it through because I can't run back. Yeah.
Yeah, well, she knows that she.
I was gonna say that, but she's not.
That's,
I was gonna say, Chris,
that
make
sure
you
looks
run
like a
through.
deuce.
We'll measure.
Yep.
Pretty
You're
sure
gonna
it's too
measure it?
yellow.
Okay.
Okay, whenever I'm
Kim
not
says it looks like it, but let's measure.
What's it looking like? But
It's just interesting. I was saying earlier how Shannon had so many combinations that actually could work, and she was just so afraid of pushing a red one into the house. But it wasn't exactly what she wanted, but it still
There's like
worked.
7 rocks. I'm like,
Well,
okay,
because I'm on this side.
Go by your rock though, like, because I can't see the angles, but maybe let me know, like, might close.
And they're just discussing what you pointed out, Ray, is whose responsibility is that stone behind the tee line?
It's Amy's.
So that was the double angle we were talking about earlier, and it worked because of that line of the yellow stones.
Somehow. Well, maybe I need to.
I think you get back there.
Can't call them.
It sure looks like it's a Kleibrink stone for two, but you never know.
I think we know about this one, pal.
It is 2 yellow. 2 for Kleibrink here in the fourth, and she'll take a 3-1 lead over Sherry Anderson. Let's meet the two teams in the sixth draw of women's play. The leads are Christine Keshen and Donna Gignac. The seconds, Glennis Bacher and Heather Walsh. Throwing the third stones, Amy Nixon and Kim Hodson. And the skip from the Calgary Winter Club, Shannon Kleibrink. And from Delisle Curling Club in Delisle, Saskatchewan, Sherry Anderson. Well, we're looking forward to this men's sixth draw when we join you at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. Two teams among the leaders at 4-1. Jeff Stoughton out of the Charleswood in Winnipeg, and St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador's Brad Gushu. Kevin Martin, he scores 2 and 10 to beat Jay Peach. Look at John Morris, a winner over Mark Dacey, who falls to 1 and 4. An extra end win by Sean Adams. Pat Ryan keeps himself very much alive by handing Gushu his first loss, and Stoughton beats Furby. A difficult week for Randy Furby at 1 and 4. 11-2, and it was over in 6 as Stoughton scored 3 triples. As we welcome you back to the Metro Center here in Halifax, and this is the women's sixth draw. In our featured game, Anderson and Kleibrink. We go to the fifth, and Anderson with the hammer playing the red stones. So I have to ask you, what do you think about Randy Furby and what's happened to him?
Well, obviously, like everyone else, we're really, really surprised and shocked. I mean, to try and analyze, I mean, I had a couple people say, what's wrong? I don't know what's wrong. I mean, obviously, they just are struggling with everything. According to Jonathan Meade, he just said they just didn't look like themselves out there this morning. And yesterday we watched as well, and there was misses that you don't expect from the team, which I consider to be the best team in the world. And they're certainly one of them. You know, open draws, free draws, things like that.
Vic, it is the one real missing piece on the resume of a wonderful team, and I think coming into it, we felt right from the first time we saw them, they looked like the pressure was intense on them. They didn't seem quite as relaxed, and when you don't have the same feel as you've had in the times you've been successful, sometimes that causes you to not make good choices, not play as well, and of course the confidence starts to ebb, and that filters down to all team members, but especially David throwing last, and it's been really tough. They haven't finished off the ends the way we've seen them in the past.
Kathy Gauthier?
Well, it's interesting. I talked to Ken Bagnall this morning, and I thought he made a point that was worth talking about. He said he felt that today was the changing of the guard for curling. He was referring to the Furby game this morning. His own team, Colleen Jones facing Jan Betker, he felt that so many of the teams had stayed together and continued to play for this one event, and thinking that with another loss by his team and also with the Furby team, he really wondered whether we'd see these teams again.
You make a very good point. Ken Bagnall, of course, the coach and a longtime psychologist, sports psychologist with the Jones team. There are some thought, you know, does Furby, Randy's, you know, battled some injury, some health, knee problems in particular. Does he continue on this? Wonder if he'll even stay around to maybe go into the Alberta playdowns, but we could see a change there. If this team does not rebound, they do have 4 games to go. They'll probably have to run the table to keep themselves alive.
Yeah, well, we've talked about the fact that there's going to be a changing of the guard. That's obvious. I mean, we see all the good young teams out here, and they're coming. There are young teams across the country are coming. I wouldn't write this Furby team off. Obviously, this event, I mean, it looks like they've got no chance. But I mean, David Nedewan is a young man. You're right. Randy Furby may give some thought to making some changes, but I mean, they're having one of those weeks, and people have had it. Yes, it happened at the last trials as well. Maybe not quite so dramatic, but you know, look at the record of the team. My goodness.
Can't take that away.
No,
granted.
And
Gotta hit it on the high side, Donna's side.
One Kleibrink stone in a good spot, so Sherry Anderson is going to call the peel. Try to open up the front.
everybody having a little trouble in the house today.
Shot.
Maybe too much bunny hopping.
I don't know. I dropped that rock. I don't think I moved that.
I don't think so. I think it's your own feet.
In my own feet.
Hard. Halfway.
Amy Nixon.
Tight.
Lots of room.
Tight, tight, tight.
I mean,
Three,
the other thing,
four,
just
five.
to close off the comment about
Yep, go around everything.
David Nevin and Randy Furby and that team.
Where are you? No, you're right already. 5, 6.
They,
Five. Yep. Just 5.
there aren't a bunch of schleppers
Yep.
here at this
Corner, please.
event. And you're having one of those weeks where things just aren't going. And you're playing the rest of the teams, which are the top. Kevin Martin is here, you know, Gushu's here, and Mark Dacey's here. I mean, their competition is the top
Edge
in
to
the world.
edge.
And if you're just not sharp, which they're not,
Get to
you're
the
going to
nose,
lose.
maybe.
You're not
Maybe at
losing to
least
some
move the
guy that
back
came
one.
from Group D in your
They're
club.
Double jamming, I think.
Right on the nose. real
Clive
quick,
Betker
Dad.
and Colleen Jones at a 3-3 tie. And Betker is lying
Are we
two,
better off sitting on
and
that?
she has
Yeah, I think so.
chance at a double, Linda?
Well,
Or she's actually 3, my
yeah, there's
goodness.
3
There is one
stones
under
in
the
there,
hand,
Vic.
yeah. So there's 3 there.
Okay.
Can't get rid of them all.
That's what I've been lining up. Now, this is Colleen's favorite shot. It is an out-turn hit, and she's going to throw the big weight, Vic, and see if she can get them rolling.
It's hard for us to tell from here, Vic, whether the 3 is possible, but I think she thinks maybe it is.
Nope.
Yep.
Nope. No.
Whoa. Yeah.
Kim Kelly, Marianne Arsenault. What a big shot this would be for Colleen Jones. Run them back, move them far enough, and not quite. So she'll cut it down and give up the steal of 1. 4-3 Betker as they go to the break.
Boy, that was close. She would have scored 3 if she moves that 2 more feet.
Yeah, maybe a little more weight.
Yeah.
Just broke at the end.
That's the difference between the men and women, that
Yeah.
big weight. We know the men would have had all 3 of those stones rolling. We couldn't tell the angle from here, but obviously the angle was there for the 3 to go.
4, 3, 3.
That was Colleen's up weight, but not just enough. Most men's teams nowadays have that heat, smoke.
Yeah, we've heard a lot of terms this week.
Whoa! Make sure.
It's over. It's over. It's over.
Let a girl.
Marie-France LaRouche still looking for her first win as she plays Sherry Madaw. This is on one of the outside sheets. On the other side, this is sheet E, the Metro Center. Final stone for this young skip from Saint-Foy and Saint-Romuald. And get enough for the deuce. 1 and 2 it is. And so they'll go to the break. LaRouche up by 1.
What a great shot. What a difficult shot to even try.
Well, I'm just thinking we got 2 options. You come this way.
Right.
Because, I mean, this guard doesn't have to be very perfect.
It's not going to help us any, because I'm not going to get shot. I sit up top here, and she guards this, and we got nothing anywhere.
Well, yeah, not if you sit up top. You
What
gotta,
are you
you
playing?
gotta come in.
Oh, yeah, I am
onto
coming
it.
in. But even if I go there, she's still guarding it. And then what do we have?
Well, if you come in, if you get onto theirs, then I've got a tap on this one.
You can't see enough for tap. You can't see enough. I can hardly see the red rock. Okay.
All right, okay, let's rip
Well, I don't know.
Rip it.
I like the peel here. I know the thought is that you can position rocks as we saw Shannon Kleibrink try last end. But that last guard wasn't all that well placed. I think I'd peel it off and see if a mistake is made on the
Your way,
next.
Donna.
Hard, guys.
Good sweeping, guys.
Right
Good
up.
sweep.
Shot.
You had to do this, Linda? Rip it off?
Well, I would do it. I think you're hoping for a mistake in line, Vic. Maybe get one to overcurl so you can get at that red
They
stone
couldn't see
that's in
enough
the
there. I
house.
think the same. Okay. A little heavier here, or Amos is lighter?
She was light, yeah.
I think I gotta come this way
Okay.
so that I have and stick out half and half so she can't guard both.
That yellow stone on the button has been there a long time. They've been protecting it for a long time
This
and
looks
doing
like better
a good
ice.
job of
So
it.
this should be okay then? I have a little bit more ice than Amy.
Yeah. And you're throwing like a 2, right?
Yeah, just a 2.
One, two.
Go then, go then, go, go, go!
2, 3. Yep.
2. 1,
Yep.
2.
Needs to curl.
Well then.
2, 3.
Okay, Wolf, it's 3.
Clean it.
Clean it, we're good.
2.
Gonna have to go a bit.
Yep. Hard.
Yeah, a little bit, guys. Yep, yep.
Hard.
Great shot, Shan.
A little more I need to curl. No.
I think it's fantastic.
Left at that one.
Well, it will.
Yeah. That's not terrible.
Kleibrink in position here to possibly steal a point. Up 3-1 as we play in the 5th.
But
Right there.
Yep.
Not quite to the center line.
She's going to try the yellow under red. That guard didn't curl quite enough to protect both shots, the tap on the red or this double angle on the yellow red.
I don't like this, but not quite to the center line, guys. Hit a quarter of the rock across ours back onto theirs.
Do it. Actually knows the one I just threw.
Straight up.
yeah,
First girl.
yeah, they're not sitting too pretty right now.
Yellow onto red, red onto yellow.
Up. Whoa.
That's the plan.
Up.
And across the top. And now Kleibrink gets a great chance, it would seem, huh?
Yeah, she can close it right out off now.
No, it's way through it.
The only shot at the moment is that very long red guard angled back, and so this next guard will try and be positioned, Vic, to cut down that angle.
They give you the same weight on this side, or is that stick here?
A little keener.
So I can give you the same because we can beat you.
Little less. Yeah.
Kleibrink in her last.
Ooh, we're same weight, same weight, same weight. Line's good. 3, 3, 2, 2. Over curling.
Needs to die.
Whoa, over curling. Can we bump off this?
No. No.
Just to it.
Sit.
All right.
Now the look sometimes can be deceiving here, Linda, but can you not, does the ice not allow you to play down to the draw and tap that back?
Okay, let's run it then.
I don't think so, Vic. It looked like that guard was going to keep curling, and it was supposed to be a little more weight. It might have really gone over and taken away that, made that shot possible. I don't think so. I think she has to play this angle.
Yep.
And here's another run back, and you earlier heard Sherry Anderson say
Yeah,
that
I like
they've never, they haven't played these many run backs their entire Bonspiel season.
Looks simple on the board here.
You guys okay? This Kim figures I can
Yes,
come
it
around,
does.
but I gotta come around and move that. Right. No, I don't know.
Used a little,
A little bit, but it was hard.
used to be harder when you had to draw them freehand.
It was more of a challenge. You know?
Yeah.
Worked in my circles for
We're gonna leave
years.
it for her unless you came. I tried to like, no, yeah, you're leaving it.
Kleibrink looking to steal. Final stone, Sherry Anderson here in the 5th.
Yep, yep, yep. Hurry!
Picked up by Walsh and Gignac.
Okay.
Got inside very quickly.
One yellow.
sir.
Yeah.
One yellow it is. Shannon Kleibrink from the Calgary Winter Club will steal one here in the 5th. And they'll go to the break. 4-1 Kleibrink.
I guess it was good enough. Looked to me like it was over curled a bit. I thought she could get one. Maybe. Like with the dead draw, wait to tap it.
The 2005 Tim Hortons Canadian Curling Trials on TSN are brought to you by Tim Hortons Limited Canister and Mug.
We'll continue our updates with Jennifer Jones and Kelly Scott. And this is a hit for 3, but it's what happened prior to this.
Yeah, it is, Vic. Actually, Jennifer Jones had a hit to lie 2, there was a guard out in front, and I guess she threw it a bit inside, so they swept it all the way, and as they were rushing, they touched the guard, and that rock comes off and gave Kelly Scott that hit for 3. Hadn't Jennifer made the hit and stuck anywhere, she was lying 2, and it would have been a difficult draw for Kelly Scott to get her single. But
we're in the 5th end break, and Sherry Anderson is looking to come back. Elaine Dagg-Jackson has coached national champions such as Julie Sutton and Kelly Law, and Elaine Jackson is with Kathy.
Elaine, you've worked with teams all around the world. How does what these women are doing compare with what other women are doing for the Olympics?
Well, I would say it's probably pretty similar, Kathy. I've been in Norway and at the competitions across the country this fall, and they are working really hard. All of the nations are going to all of the top spiels. They were all in some of the European spiels, but most of them have been to Canada. They're playing the same competitions as we are. Their preparations are pretty similar. They're working in this Olympic year. They know what it means. It's everything to perform at the Olympics, and they're going above and beyond in their preparations.
Now, you will travel as the team leader with the winning women's team. What will you do with them from this event until you go in February?
Well, the past few months have been really busy planning for those very few weeks between now and the Olympics, and Jim Waite has had several pre-trips over to Torino to take a look. We've done some detailed planning on training, a competition tour to Europe for the women in January, a training weekend at the end of January where we're going to bring different specialists and experts in, talk to the team about physical preparation, their peaking, handling life in the village, all of those things at the Olympics that are very challenging, and that'll lead us up to departure. We'll be leaving for Torino, I think it's February 7th.
Wow. We wish you and whatever team you take the best of luck.
Thanks, Kathy.
The Winter Games from Turin. And just a reminder, you'll see coverage beginning February the 12th on both the CBC and TSN.
We've changed Cottonelle over the years. Now we're giving it a softer name. Cottonelle is changing its name to Cashmere.
Strauss Natural Health products make great gifts for people important to you. Available at health product retailers across Canada.
At True Value, we encourage kids to throw rocks at houses, and we even like to give them a little help. We're proud to be the official hardware supplier to curling's Season of Champions. Just like we're proud of our True Value paint, we test and retest right at our own factory. We guarantee every can at every store. True Value, around the corner from your house.
Take on winter with Stanfield's Polar Therm, the ultimate winter underwear. Enter Stanfield's Beat the Freeze contest, brought to you by OLN and TSN. You could win a trip to Sun Peaks Resort in British Columbia, courtesy of CAA Travel, or a Stanfield's prize pack. Hit tsn.ca/OLN to enter. Then test your skills for bonus entries. For every pair of Polar Therm underwear sold November 14th to December 11th, a donation will be made to Raising the Roof, a charity dedicated to long-term solutions to homelessness.
Why M&M? Well, they're just so helpful.
Yeah.
You know, unlike some places.
Excuse me, can you help me?
I have to go ask someone.
At M&M, they suggest things. They're not afraid to help.
Well, they're just not afraid.
With so much more to see, shouldn't you be watching it on the Aquas Liquid Crystal television? From Sharp.
You've never heard anything like Sirius Satellite Radio.
It feels like you get every song ever made. Rock, pop, hip-hop, no commercials.
We get a ton of music, no commercials. It's comedy, no bleeps. You know what I'm saying?
If it involves a uniform, a stick, a ball, bang, it's right in there.
Bang! NHL is in there!
It's the best thing I ever put in my car. Next to him.
It's flat out better than regular radio.
With 100 channels, it's more than just radio. It's Sirius Satellite Radio. Find out where to get Sirius at SiriusCanada.ca.
The 2005 Tim Hortons Canadian Curling Trials on TSN are brought to you in part by Scott Paper Limited, proud sponsor of curling for 25 years. By Ford, built for life in Canada. And by Strauss Herb Company, makers of the original Strauss Heart Drops, when only the best will do.
Time to check the numbers after 5, brought to you by Tim Hortons and the limited mug and canister. Linda?
Well, there's a couple of things with the numbers. First of all, both teams playing very well. Anderson actually at the moment with the bigger team numbers, but Amy Nixon's at 95%, and we mentioned that would be a key for Kleibrink. That last steal, Vic, we talked about it in the break. That's a huge point, and we were chatting in the last end. There was a chance for Sherry Anderson to draw for 1. To get 2, she had to play the run back because she couldn't move by tapping the stone in the house, the stone far enough. But she could have tried to keep the game a little closer by drawing, went for the big shot, didn't make it, and now, boy, Kleibrink has the big edge in this game.
So it's Kleibrink up by 3, 4-1 she leads. Sherry Anderson playing the Red Stones has the hammer here in 6. And this is the Anderson lead, Donna Gignac.
It was a huge point. You're right on, and it really is the control point of this game. I mean, they were up 2, but now with that third point, they can move a little to the defensive side of it. Not all the way, but certainly try and defend that situation.
Well, they have to be careful, the Kleibrink team. That Yellowstone is way too long out in front. Yeah. If you're going to have a 3-point lead, yes, you don't have to go crazy to the defense, but that's just too far. It's not going to be of use if you need to run it in, and it's certainly of use to Sherry Anderson.
I like that. That's good. Even corner freeze on that's not bad.
Yeah, I like the guard or the corner on the red even.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
Comes off of it.
Because then they might be able to get under.
Okay, guard.
They guard.
You guys sure?
Peel that.
Well, I kind of like that. These guys don't.
I don't like the peel. We don't have hammer here.
Well, only if they execute and we don't. Wow, we can make a double though.
That one's dead buried, so that's danger of 3, right? You can't see it, can you?
Not really.
Not the whole thing. I got the press one. Peel it this way and get them both. Out-turn double peel.
I kind of like the peel myself.
I like the out-turn double peel, plus the yellow might go in the rings.
Okay.
This that old adage about, I mean, she hasn't got the hammer and she's in control of the game up 4-1. These are the stones that hurt her, if potentially could hurt her.
Yeah, really, Vic, there is no way at this point in the game I would be throwing a guard. That was one suggestion that they were talking about. I would not put another rock out in front. You have a bit of control with that extra point that you stole last end. You might draw something into the rings of anything, but I like the peel.
Whoa! Yes! Whoa! Whoa!
That's good. That's good. Can you flip this for me? Yeah.
Updating the game between Jan Becker, Colleen Jones. Again, the importance of this one, both teams are at 3 losses, and Colleen Jones drawing against a couple of Becker stones. Becker out of the Cali Club in Regina, Colleen Jones from the Mayflower here in Halifax. And you can see Kim Kelly on the left, Marianne Arson on the right. They have backed right off. She needs to have this break quickly. Rubs and rolls too far. Becker steals 2. anything?
Huge. That was sort of funny because they called down what is pretty normal weight and about a 9-second hit. And Glennis basically gave them peel. It was just way too much weight.
Actually, maybe a little rub and roll here is probably the best.
As long as they're lined up.
Rub this over.
Yeah, I see what you're looking at.
Same thing.
Same weight.
Heather Walsh. Hudson trying to drag it down.
Bounce it. Go, Donnie, go.
Little
go,
rub.
Go, go.
Bounce off. No, it's angled there.
They all go. James into here. And they all go.
That was a mistake.
Normal.
Yeah, that is a big mistake.
How much? Half.
Okay.
8.5.
Just a little overlap on the two red stones. Top button means there's no risk to try this, to drive it back. The top red stone onto the ones in the forefoot.
Well, as you said, Amy is the one that makes this team go and has a great chance here. Run it back. Get them all.
Good enough, that a girl.
Gets the separation.
All right.
Leaves Anderson lying one.
Hey.
This is a live look at the house on sheet C. Jennifer Jones and Kelly Scott. And remember now in that fifth, Jones had the stone pulled. Scott made the hit for 3. And now Jennifer Jones with her last one is facing 3, all behind the tee line.
Well, a couple of great shots in this game by Kelly Scott's team and Kelly and herself. There was a great opportunity for Kathy Overton-Clapton to get one frozen with a quiet hit and be lying 2, but she just underthrew it a bit. And as a result, they've exchanged a few stones, and Jennifer Jones now has to draw against the 3.
And she will. She'll put it on the lid for her single point. 6-4.
Yes.
Scott leads going to 7.
Yep. Yes. Hard. Yes. Hard right to it. Hard. 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 Hard right to it. Yep. Hard. Whoa. Whoa, whoa. Okay. Good one. Throw. Yep. Good job.
Nice hit on that one. Amy was just a little inside on the first one, and we've heard her say a couple of times that she feels she's just sliding a little inside of the target. Could have gotten them all, but in this case now Sherry Anderson is hitting to lie 2.
Hard. 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 Right
Kim
up.
Hodgson.
Right up. Good sweep. Okay.
Anderson with the hammer here in the 6th. And line 2. Marie-France LaRouche and Sherry Madaw. LaRouche, with her last stone, took out her own rock, and this gives Madaw now the chance at a 3 here in the 6th. And that'll do it. She'll pick up the 3 to take a 2-point lead. Madaw looking to go to 4 and 2.
Right onto the pin. There's no double.
Little hit, trying to roll over a little bit, maybe with an exchange of stones the next time without the roll.
You just
a double could be set up.
Sorry, Ray, you may be wondering why she's throwing the red stone. She's actually throwing the wrong color. The red's not hitting red because they want to. The red's hitting red because she threw the wrong color.
They do that to try and trick us.
I know.
It's a good thing you were on top of that, 'cause I didn't notice it.
Do you want to just bring that one down, or does it stay?
Stop the clock because we threw the wrong color here.
Stop.
I got it.
That would be the fault of the leader second who put the stone
Oh
up
my
for
God.
her.
We need an official to do this,
That's
right?
so funny.
Well, I assume so. We could certainly do it
Should
ourselves.
we check with the rules?
Can we get an official to help us? Can we get an official?
Sorry, guys.
Well, the only concern, they're going to put the stone, the yellow one, where the red one is sitting. The only concern is, of course, if there happens to be a measurement later in the end, they want to make sure that everybody's clear that the positioning is
The back,
correct.
number 7. Needs to be replaced with this. This just came in. We just brought this in.
Back here.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll take it. Back and forth here. As long as we're second shot. Right there.
All right.
Oh, I
Good,
can't go here.
thanks.
For fear of being short.
Well, because if I overcurl by 1 inch,
Then what?
I mean this way.
If you overcurl by 1 inch, what matters? What's she gonna play?
The game has advanced quite a bit in the last number of years, and it's the placing of the feet like that.
The very technical aid to place the stone, the 2 feet.
You're kind of expecting some big contraption to come out there.
I mean, now she can play here.
Now, there
or
is a
here.
whole page of rules about whether, if that happened at another point in the end, but certainly at this point, there's no measurement issue. They just put the stone in place.
You know, and it doesn't surprise me, you've likely read that whole page of the rule book on the placement of the feet.
You didn't notice till I let it go.
Well, ladies, we have to be biting the 4 behind the tee line. Back tee line on the side of the 4-foot. Like back. But we got to be biting a chunk of it to be second shot.
The danger here is putting this stone someplace, you heard her say, that where Shannon could get off it or make a double, or so you got to be careful where you place this.
And you heard her talk to the brushers because it will be the brusher's stone any moment to be positioned, if they can do it, if she hands them the right weight,
close.
at the back of the 4-foot.
7. Oh,
Gotta be an 8.
need an 8.
8. Can't leave it a 7.
Gotta be biting the 4 though, guys. You gotta be
Gotta be 8.
4 foot.
Gotta be deeper than this one.
Just back 4.
That's the worst. Go hard. You got it. Go hard. You got it. You got it. You got it. Every inch. Every
Quick,
inch. Every inch. Every inch.
No, not far enough.
Let's continue with our updates. 6th end of Joanne Rizzo and Stephanie Lawton. And final stone for Lawton, who came into this draw at 4-1 and tied with Kelly Scott. Makes the hit for the single at the back of the 4.
You know, it's funny how many times we see teams try to position a rock. It wasn't a lot of room for error for Sherry Anderson, but it ends up in exactly the wrong place.
Never.
Right here.
Talking to it, is it listening?
All right.
Move over and sit on the pin.
That was a good opportunity for Shannon to get, even if she just rolled over a little further in angle, froze on the red stone.
Wanted to.
Maybe throwing something quieter.
Yep, she is. Good throw.
Is that a case for Shannon, Linda,
This
where
is-
she
this
saw
is
it before
for
she threw
backing.
it and maybe got a little excited?
I don't know if she rushed a little bit, Vic, you know, licking your lips. Oh,
Yeah.
got the
Seeing
easier
the
one.
headlines.
I mean, it happens sometimes, but the other thing is she played fairly upweight, and you don't get a lot of movement, as Ray has told us. So it's a very fine line to making the little hit and roll or even the double and just sitting right there.
You weren't that far off.
Okay, with like 13, 13.5. Yeah.
So a chance for Sherry Anderson to get 2 here in the 6th. go before Kim Hodson was calling them on.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Line, Ken.
Clean,
I think it looks fine.
Clean.
Had a girl.
Nice throw.
For two. Sherry Anderson gets her first deuce of the game. It comes here in 6. But she still trails by 1.
Took there. These three, but couldn't get like T-line.
We're past the midway point, of course, of this women's 6th draw. Let's continue with our updates. Colleen Jones in the 7th and has a chance to get a couple here and get within 1 of Jan Betker. Looking for the hit and stick. That'll give her the 2 in 7. Betker, though, has the hammer back, still leads by 1. As we welcome you back to the Metro Center. I'm not sure I want to go outside because we haven't, there are no, I'm guessing, I'm thinking that we may walk out of here after this draw and come be a little bit, have a little snow on the ground. That was the forecast there. It was supposed to be snow starting this afternoon and upwards of 5 to 7 centimeters.
I know you've predicted snow, but is there snow? I mean,
I
you
don't
know.
know.
Did you get some information that we?
Well, no, I'm just saying I don't know. It's can't see outside.
So you're like all the rest of the weathermen.
That's right.
You don't really know.
No, thanks. In the new year, our season of champions coverage will begin with the Scott Tournament of Hearts. February the 25th from London, Ontario, the Scott on TSN.
Wait's nice and easy.
Christine Keshen.
Whoa, 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 close. Whoa, whoa, left, yeah, hard, hard, whoa, 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 roll it. Hard.
Had an idea jumping over.
Even if they get the perfect roll, the Redstone is so close, it's going to be a fairly easy little run back for Sherry. But this is an important end to sort of cool things down with Anderson getting a couple last end. And remember, there was an open flash by Glennis Bacher on the Kleibrink team last end. So they feel like maybe they handed her the extra point. They want to cool it down, get the momentum back. Even if they blank this end, that's okay.
Yep. Oh, watch the roll. Watch the roll, Kim. Whoa, whoa.
Good job, Heather. Good shot.
Live look at the house between Rizzo and Lawton. And you see the Rizzo stone is on the buttons, lying 1. And the final stone coming up for Joanne Rizzo out of the Brant Curling Club in Brantford, Ontario, playing one of the co-leaders in Stephanie Lawton at 4-1. Can she get enough of the button, you think, on this draw? It's going to be tough.
I think she's.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
It looks like she can, Vic. The difficulty is she's got to cut the guard and then still get a chance to get to the button. I think she can hit her own with a little bit of weight and still stay there.
Oh,
Look
to
at
get
that.
by that, just running so straight, and she can't get in there.
She had the weight.
And so it's a 1 for Rizzo to tie it up. And Rizzo, one of those teams at 3 losses.
2. Off, Donna.
Okay, good throw. Okay, not bad.
Just normal.
Sorry.
9.5.
Our updates continue now. Madon LaRouche.
Yeah.
After Madon scored the 3 and the 6, Marie-France still looking for her first win.
Nine's fine. Yeah, 9.5. 9, yeah, hard. Hard for peace. 3.
Wow, look at that. as the stones come into view, drawing against 4. Nice draw by Marie-France to get her single 5-4 as they go to the 8th. And of course, the 8th have been terrible for Madaw. We know that in the last 3 draws, she's given up in the 8th 4 against Anderson, 4 against Jennifer Jones, and 4 against Kelly Scott, and lost 2 of those 3. So we'll see what happens in the 8th for Madaw.
Mine's okay.
Be interesting to see how many rocks in play are over on that sheet, Vic, because that's what got Sherry into trouble, Sherry Madaw into trouble. Too many rocks in play in a close game.
So would you, if you gave up like 3, would you feel better?
Sit down.
It's slightly different too. She has the hammer over there. And here, not much in play. And as I mentioned, Shannon Kleibrink wanting to cool things down a little bit, felt maybe the momentum creep back to the Anderson side with the deuce in the last end. Doesn't mind a blank here.
Yes! Hard, 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 hard. Right up, right up. All the way, all the way. Right to it for hard. Good stick. Hard to stick. Hard, hard. No roll. Yep. Go, go, go.
This end is kind of to Shannon Kleibrink's liking, I think, Linda, because when you do give up a deuce like that, it's, as you mentioned, it's you know, you don't like it what just happened, but to have an open end like this, kind of, I think, is not a bad thing for Shannon Kleibrink. And if she wants, she can make a move in the 8th end with the hammer if she gets a chance to blank.
No, actually, let's go here.
Amy Nixon, somewhat the same, Linda, as when you've had a busy end and lots of rocks in play and it's been mentally draining, you sort of take an end off, as it were.
Sure,
is that what this is?
It could be a bit of that. Now, the benefit for Shannon Kleibrink is she's a point ahead.
Right.
She gave up the deuce, but that was only to get Sherry within 1. So you're a point ahead. You have the hammer. No risk. You're right. Take a little breather. As Ray said, move on to 8. 8's a big end as far as the whole game plan goes. So Shannon's in a good spot.
Okay, this is the live look at the house between Jennifer Jones and Kelly Scott. Scott leading by a couple. And Scott, playing the yellow stones, does have the hammer. Final stone, Jennifer Jones.
Clean it! Yeah!
And is she playing a little bit of a tap here to possibly lie a couple?
She is.
Yeah! Hard!
It's a perfect line, but what about the weight?
Just a little strong, and it curled a little. So.
And as we looked at, it is 2. That is a 4th shot stone at the back of the 8.
Clean.
Kelly Scott could tap her own up to 4 foot, though. It's, or draw to the 4 foot, whatever she desires to do.
Whatever you think. You got options on the tap too, right?
Sherry Anderson in this wide open end with the hit.
I don't know how much swoop we'll get.
The trainers do that.
So she decided to draw. Taking the extra ice, middle of the 12 foot. Kelly Scott we're talking about.
Kelly's just concerned that she's not sure where to put the broom. The tap isn't difficult. As Jeannie was saying, there's a couple of different ways you could push it straight or either angle and still be shot. But you do complicate the issue by having to have the correct line. And with the draw, she knows exactly the line to get to the 4 foot, and then it's just a question of weight.
You want the other turn or something? Yep. Yep.
Hard. Real hard. Real hard. Hard for B.
Come on, push it. Let's go.
I'm kidding. Yep.
Hard.
I didn't do it to her once. She always does that to us.
Hard for P.
Say hard for P.
That's why.
Kelly Scott, final stone.
No curl yet.
Drawing against a couple.
Go to Heather's side.
Piece of the 4.
Wait, looks pretty close.
And Kelly Scott has her single and regains a 3-point lead.
Oops. A little firm still. Yeah. Let's go.
Now Shannon Kleibrink will look to blank the 7th and keep control of the hammer.
What did you guys get Kim split at?
408.
I had. Well, I got
Yeah,
15,
split,
6.
yeah. Little less weight.
Yep.
Hard.
Hard.
Hard. Hard. Hard. Oh, whoa.
Okay.
Whoa.
Played the whole end to get the blank,
Yeah. Okay, that's fine, Shan.
and they won't get it.
One yellow.
Oh, Shannon didn't need us. She was so
Kleibrink gets the single. Anderson gets the hammer.
Good.
Detectives Fontana and Green investigate a man who is mysteriously killed after desecrating a treasured edition of the Hebrew Torah. Don't miss a new episode of Law & Order tomorrow at 8, 7 Central on CTV. So you play that whole end to get the blank, and you give the hammer back. Are you upset with that, Linda? Disappointed at that?
Disappointed. You don't get upset because, of course, that might carry through and affect your game, and they still have the 2-point lead. But it's interesting because
Spoken as a coach.
what we mentioned this to each other a couple of times. We're not hearing people sound comfortable. Shannon is throwing them, and then there's the panic sweep. It's not like the throws are smooth or the calls are smooth. It's just a little bit of panic creeping in on Tuesday.
Our little bump.
These player comparisons brought to you by Alexander Keith's. Those who like it a lot.
We mentioned Donna Gignac had been out of the lineup with a illness, and she's playing so well at 89%. So it's nice to see that she's feeling better and playing better. And she has a huge plus with that 89% number.
Tight line. Room.
7.
7. Room. Yep. Hard.
Yeah, hard line, hard line, 5, 6. Hard line, hard line.
Whoa. Whoa.
6.
Yep.
Hard line, hard line.
We're losing
Whoa.
line.
6.
Whoa. Whoa. Roll your 2 there.
Roll it center.
That's fine. Just tapping one back.
I'm just tap that.
Maybe from your fans here. Apparently. Whoa.
Hack. No. Close. Don't touch it. No. Tip and roll. Yep. Roll it. Oh.
It's
like hack.
Roll, Donna. Who are you? Okay. That is.
See here, Kim?
Good shot.
She didn't realize
Good shot, Donna.
she was beside Heather, and Donna was throwing, and she said, Donna, look, and it was Heather. She said, whoever you are, just make sure you brush. I wasn't quite sure. Thank you, Kim.
That's staying in the moment.
Yeah. So we're up here sometimes. We look across and I go, who are you?
I don't even remember who I am sometimes. That's the bad part.
Hard. Hard. Right to it. Right to it. Hard. 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 Nice throw.
Great throw, Glennis.
The Kleibrink team would not be happy with that stone staying in that spot out in front. It gives Heather a chance to play the come around.
7. Room.
a very part of it.
Go hard.
Right back, Dom.
Right.
I got it.
Okay. Okay.
Behind the tee. Like the run back?
You keep having to check the scoreboard as we watch the numbers come up because, again, it's the Anderson second. Huge numbers at 95%.
I like the draw.
Interesting how Glennis Bacher is playing so many hits, only 2 draws to this point in the game.
Live look at the game between Betker and Jones. Betker, final stone coming up here.
If it's anywhere in the 8 foot, it's in a
She plays the hit because she needs the roll inside, doesn't she? Or what's she playing here? How does she get in for her?
Can't get away from it now.
She has to get the inside roll, I guess.
Well, she wants to cross it. You're right, Vic. They've played this spot continuously the last few stones.
Well, Jan with her first one made a great double to get themselves out of trouble, big trouble, and then
No, get over!
Looking for the double, actually. Double and roll, and almost got it, but instead just got the roll in, Vic.
For the single point, Betker 7-5 through 8.
No.
Whoa.
It's good. T-line. We're to it. 8. Tapping. 8.
No line.
9.
Whoa. Close. Need a tick?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
We buy it.
We buy it. Oh.
Yep.
Oh, it's less than that. Nice shot, Heather. Nice weight, Heather.
We talk a lot about mistakes, and I know it sounds so critical, but we talk about pro side miss. A pro side miss with that last draw would have been somewhere in front of the red stone blocking the path. You just cannot be heavy.
We'd seen a flash earlier by Glennis, remember? And
Only if you have to, guys. Got room.
nice chance here now for Sherry Anderson to really put the pressure on.
And Anderson does have the hammer.
Hurry!
Drilled a lot more than they thought.
Yeah.
She can run this back now and make the double. It might be a little bit of a jam, but
Yeah.
at least you can see the whole stone of it. If Sherry had just tucked that around that guard, it would have been absolutely perfect.
Whoa, is it up? No, it's close.
No! Yes!
Run it back and then stuffs it, sits on the pin.
What's that? No,
Just,
it had to curl.
just a call on the line. I
I
mean,
hear that coming by all the yeses and nos. But I was going to try and go the other way because I didn't think we could get there. But
All right. Yes, I'm looking for an 8, I think.
Final stone is
Put a
on the
break
way. This is Stephanie Lawton against Joanne Rizzo in a 5-5 tie. Lawton and her team from the CN Curling Club in Saskatoon tied for the lead at 4-1 with Kelly Scott.
might be a 7.
And this is an open draw for 2. She has it 7-5. She leads Rizzo.
well, that's been an impressive team, that Lawton team. They've been
No,
very,
no.
very consistent.
Yep. Go hard, Donna, hard.
All right.
Kim Hodson gets the rub and the roll in behind.
Does open up the shot stone now, though, Vic.
Yeah.
Get the roll the other way.
Kim's rock wasn't working over, so it was a good call by the brushers to say what the weight was, and Sherry decided to play the tick to try and get something out of that shot. There's a good view of the shot stone being open for Amy.
Control. Yep. Control. Hard. Whoa. Control. Whoa. 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 Yep. Whoa. 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 Yeah.
Found the hole. Now he's got the roll tube, taking it over. T-line edge of the 4.
Nice shot by Amy.
Great shot, Amy.
Nice sweeping.
You almost left it too long, Linda.
Almost.
Nice shot, man.
The 2 rocks
Perfect.
in the 12-foot are not lined up
Hey, what was
properly
going on?
either.
You were calling it a cross?
Well, I didn't know. I knew we weren't going to get to the split one, so I started to try and call for the cross of face. Double
Huge
for
numbers.
high.
I talked about this matchup because Amy Nixon had been up and down with her numbers, but look at that. Both thirds throwing so well. And Amy seeming to hit her stride at the right point of the week.
That's cool. I just want to make sure.
Now, if these rocks are frozen that they're about to hit, this can be made onto the back one as well. You have to hit the center line side of the first yellow to get it to drive straighter with the drag effect.
Off. Off. Roll, Heather.
Not too much on the outside. It was there if they hit it hard enough on the center line side.
You just had to hit it on the other side, and with the drag effect, it would have gone a little bit straighter towards the Yellowstone in the rings.
Well.
Well, here's the dreaded 8th for Sherry Madaw, but as Linda points out, she's had her troubles without the hammer. Here she does have the last rock against Marie-France LaRouche. And that's a draw for 2 and a 7-4 lead as she looks to go to 4-2.
They took a look at the run back. If it was earlier in the end, they might consider trying to get at the red stone that's buried behind their own stone out front. But instead, they're going to guard shot stone.
Whoa. 3. 3. Oh, it's got to stop. It's got to curl.
No, it doesn't have to curl at all.
Whoa, it needs to die. Whoa.
Perfect.
Whoa.
Stop.
Whoa.
Stop.
Whoa, 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 whoa. No more curling.
Stop. Not bad, Shan.
It's okay, Shan. It's good.
Yeah.
I think there's room to get to the face for sure.
It's interesting because Shannon took a little less ice from the looking at it and thinking it looked like too much. I think she was fine with the first placement. Moved so much at the end.
Yeah.
The weight was perfect.
That's the wrong answer, damn it.
Great numbers by both skips, and in particular, Shannon Kleibrink coming off a 97% game, sitting at a 96% game. Interesting how many draws and hits, both of them. 3 draws and 11 hits so far in the game. That's a very high hit percentage. As we mentioned early in the game, quite a defensive style being played.
Have to, eh?
Wait. Line's good if you could let it move.
I might have to go here.
Whoa, guys. Okay.
Only if you have to, guys.
Line's great. Line's great. Got to be top
bounce,
4.
but
Line's
get it to
great.
it.
Yep.
Get it to it
Gotta go hard.
Got
All the
the
way.
hole.
You can bump it. All the way. Make sure the shot. Bump it. Bump it.
Right up
bump
to it. Very nice.
Shot.
Bit of brushing by the front end as we go live to the game between Jennifer Jones and Kelly Scott. And it's 4 yellows. And Jennifer Jones now left with her final stone to play a raise.
She needs this to curl. The weight looks okay, but it's not curling for her.
I think you can take a bit more, Sean. Yeah, a little bit more. You took here
And
and
it'll
that's
stop
here.
in the top 12, and it'll be a steal of 2 for Kelly Scott in the 8th, and a 9-4 lead as Scott looks to remain in first place, tied right now with Stephanie Lawton, both at 4 and 1.
Good job, guys.
That's enough, eh?
Oops.
Or you.
Clean it!
Guys, good game.
And she's had enough.
Good game.
You overheard her say, you had enough, guys. Talking to her team, and so it's a 9-4 final for Kelly Scott out of Kelowna. Now 5 and 1. Jennifer Jones from the St. Vital in Winnipeg falls to 3 and 3.
Not curling enough. The first day it would have been. I don't think it is today.
That.
Curled pretty hard.
But right there.
Yeah.
This is where I threw that draw and curled hard.
Out here?
Out here.
But it did it all at
Are we
the
saying
end.
red line 1 here, Linda?
Red is line 1 for sure, Vic.
So that's Anderson.
Yes, and she's going to play a long raise.
Can I stay here?
Yeah,
You want me
you
up
can.
there?
A long raise bump.
And these are
pretty tight,
tough
Kim.
because it's fairly wide,
pretty
and
tight.
Vic, when you play it with the
Oh, you need
weight,
more ice?
it's easier
I
to
think
keep
I
it
need a
straight and
hand.
get the line you want. With the quieter weight, this is a more difficult,
the high one out,
long
right?
angle raise so close to the board.
The red one. To the 4 foot. This is where I threw that draw
So red,
earlier.
on to red.
We're like 13.
I think I need 13
Yeah.
Okay.
for this, eh?
Yeah.
Let's do it, guys.
And if she can do it, it would give her a tie. She'll need a good full 4.
No for
Okay,
line,
weight's
but-
close.
No line. No line.
Might have to go for weight.
No line.
Whoa!
No.
This is what I was talking about. Sometimes you have to take a little chance and
Okay.
cut the broom down because it's just
Okay,
a different
Sarah.
spot way out there.
One red.
Okay, it's okay.
Amy Nixon has a look.
Yep. One red. One red.
So just a 1 for Anderson. Sometimes you kick them away really quickly, don't you? Don't give the other person a chance, do you, Lucy?
You'd never do that.
You can catch the NHL on TSN tonight. Atlanta and the Sharks in San Jose. The coverage begins at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. That's 7:30 Pacific. Atlanta and San Jose. We have one final. Boy, they're on a great run. This Kelly Scott team out of Kelowna with a 9-4 win over Jennifer Jones, and Kathy's with Kelly.
Kelly, you continue to roll along, another victory. What's been the key to the success?
I think we're just taking it one end at a time and just burying ourselves within our team and what we have control over, and that seems to be working so far.
Now, last year at the Scott Tournament of Hearts, you had a different third. Tell us how you've reintegrated Jenna into the team.
Gina and I have played together for many years, and last year Michelle stepped into the third position really well, but now with Gina back, it feels, you know, like we have a good history together and we feel very comfortable out there together.
Congratulations and good luck with your next tomorrow.
Thank you.
And for the moment, she's alone in first place with a record of 5 and 1. Stephanie Lawton out of Saskatoon playing Joanne Rizzo. And as we watch that game, they're playing the 9th. Lawton is the
We're bouncing.
leader there by a couple.
About an 8.
We'll look to
8
keep
to
pace
9.
Yeah, I see
as we return to our featured game. And it's the
that.
9th.
All right, it's okay.
And Shannon Kleibrink playing the Yellowstones has the hammer.
I don't think we worry about that one in the back.
Yeah.
Sure, let's do it.
And mentioning Lawton Rizzo, you can see 1, 2 for sure. Looks like 3 at the back, and so Joanne Rizzo with her final stone will be facing 3 Lawton rocks.
Perfect. Whoa, 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 whoa.
You see the red stone at the back, Vic. Actually, with her first one, she had a chance to tuck it in behind the corner guard, and unfortunately just went a little too deep. And so it now puts her in a position where she has to draw to the 4 foot for the single. But she had a little chance there, Linda, if she tucks that rock in behind the guard in the full 8 foot as shot rock, then to have maybe picked up a deuce and tied it up. Now she has to draw to the 4-foot for the single. She's made some great shots, this young lady, under a lot of pressure. And here's another one. So 1 down coming home. I've seen worse things.
No, with the 3-guard zone rule, you can get some front stones, and there's been a lot of stealing this week.
This picked. Want it over? No, no, we need to get in that way. Okay. All right.
That picked something, according to Kim. And
all along.
You guys like the peel?
Yeah, I don't think it was that.
What do you think it was?
Or cover this up.
Well, it's too bad for Heather, and now it's big decision time for the Kleibrink team because, of course, they expected that stone to be somewhere in the house. It's caught fairly early, and the funny thing is sometimes when rocks catch debris, they also go kind of at an angle. You can really see the change in the path, but that one really just grabbed, slowed down quickly.
This is the kind of turning point. If we go now, we're going to get messy. Our goal is to score at least one, right? Right, so even if they make the
I think I'd be ripping that
on the center
front
one
one
right
off.
now, we'll run our yellow into the red and roll over there, and then they'll have to throw how many perfect. Problem is, it's just slightly behind the tee line.
If they get wrapped around, like if we even come top 8 perfect, if Glennis is great, they can still I think, get wrapped.
No, I don't think definitely not.
What if we put one, as we talked about,
it doesn't curl enough
Center
there.
line on the 12-foot.
or even right here?
Yeah, but then they're just going to
Why?
start tapping deep, and we're going to end up with a lot of rocks. Peel it. I think we peel. Unless we, yeah, okay.
Yeah, but we got a rock
Well,
on
I'm
top
peeling.
of
I don't know
12
what
too.
she's doing, but I'm peeling.
She is as well.
Yeah.
You have control of the game. You have the hammer and a 1-point lead. The acceptable outcome is to score 1. You're hoping for a deuce. It's unacceptable to give up a steal, and you can't afford to leave the front stone up.
Really
If you're down to your skips first or your thirds last, even maybe you can make a move to get the extra points, but not with you know, all the rocks left.
Get it. Okay, good.
We talked about Glennis, and since the 5th end break, she has really struggled. She's had a lot of misses, and we know she goes off to nurse the baby, and that must be very difficult for her to rush off and have to cope with things off ice and then come back and refocus. And at this point of the game, she's just struggling with everything, weight and line.
Whoa, whoa, it's all a 7, isn't it? It might be more than that. All right.
I like guarding that freeze.
No.
What do you want to rip that again?
Guard the freeze.
No.
Take away the freeze.
What was our first call there, Glennis?
I think we got to go now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, exactly.
Madal LaRouche, 7-4. Sherry Madal leading as they play in the 9th, and 1, 2, 3 reds. This is live now. Marie-France LaRouche going to try to come through the hole, facing 3. Still looking for win number 1. Got to get off that long guard. Got to get off that guard, and will not.
Find it.
It's a steal of 3 and a win for Madal to go to 4-2, 10-4 the final.
Good game, good luck.
Thanks, Annie.
Good game, good luck.
Thanks, Annie.
Good game, good luck, Sherry.
There's just been a huge number of errors this end. That rock is too deep. Leaves a little pocket even for Kim to draw into. Had to be short. Top 8, top 12.
Whoa, off! 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 Off!
This is a great opportunity for Sherry Anderson now to get one locked in there, and they made that decision to make a move as opposed to try and keep it clean.
opportunity here for Colleen Jones to make the draw for 2 to tie in the 9th against Jan Betker. Betker's last stone coming up just a little light, allowing Jones an out. Both at 3 losses. And while you can't say 4 is too much, we just go on past history and know that anything more than 3 the past 2 trials was too many. And that'll tie it. 7 up, going to 10, and Betker will have the hammer coming home.
Normal.
You did say earlier in the week, though, that 4 was too much.
Yeah, going on past trials, yeah.
Yep. Hard. Yep.
As I've gotten older, I've gotten smarter. I don't commit so early. Running it back.
Come on. Good shot.
That's a very good shot, though.
Gets rid of the backing, is that it? Not the key there?
Still a little trouble, but she's made a lot of shots, this young lady today. I'm not sure I like their decision, their last decision.
I'm going to throw less, though.
I mean, it's always easy hindsight if she makes it to the top of the 12-foot or top of the 8-foot.
The execution was definitely lacking, but they did make the aggressive choice, and here's the chance for Sherry to get another one
right
in
on
there.
top, guys. I'm thinking I've got a hair.
Sorry,
I'm thinking a hair. I got to give you less weight.
Okay, where does she want it exactly?
Right on top of the one I just
Right on
threw.
top? Okay.
Sorry, coming right down to the face of this one on the button?
That's what they're trying. Don't forget there is that guard out in front, so that rock that is shot rock is buried.
Whoa for line.
So this one would be as well.
Wait as long as you can. Getting better. All wait. Wait as long as you can. Line's good.
Whoa.
Line's good. Whoa. Sit.
Yeah, we're there.
Curl in.
No.
Curl in. Sit.
Okay.
See any?
Hey, Kim.
Can't see it?
Yeah. I got that much, but right there, isn't it?
We could just tap this.
Can't see a lot of it.
If you tap that, you can leave your shooter high, and then we might have the shooter into it, right? I mean,
I
off
throw
the
the
shooter.
same thing, we can get them both off there.
Well, no, it still gets caught by that. They still stay
Yeah,
shot.
but who cares?
Yeah, but if we don't, what am I going to do?
Well,
not
I
good,
heard,
too.
I was hearing 6, and I go, okay. If it starts
You
to
could
come
see a
down
good
and
half of
around
that, can't
again,
you?
it was something nice, but it was...
Half?
Well, Kim just had that by the guard. You want to call time?
I don't think I can throw very much weight though, Shan. You want it? You sure?
Time.
Calling a timeout.
I don't know if they saw that or not.
Where's our timer? I mean, that's not half.
No.
That's a third. I can't throw any weight at that.
Let's go to the other end.
A third?
But it's a pretty high guard. I mean, Kim just came by. Watch how much she was by the guard by. It was that.
Yeah, I know, but I don't think it really curls until it's coming down. Like, if you're wanting what kind of weight?
Well, I mean, you could pick it for that matter. And touch the guard. It's the same, you know? And pick it
Daryl
and touch
Nixon is
shooter on
the
two.
coach. Sandra Jenkins, 5th player, is also there.
I think we got to make sure we get rid of one.
Probably that one and that one.
Like back line, I think, Shan.
Back line. To get rid of one. Yeah. If we
Well,
can
I don't
stay
even
here.
have to hit it very far. We just have to throw it back 8, really.
Yeah, it'd be nice to hit it to here.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Well, this isn't terrible because it leaves us something to come off.
But then if they do it...
As long as we get rid of this one, I'm happy.
Okay.
Back here. Back line.
Okay.
Miss it, it's a steal of 2.
Stay with us. TSN's coverage of the Champions League is coming right up. Rangers and Inter Milan from Group H. Inter leading with 12 points. Rangers are second with 6.
Wait's good, Chan. Back line. No. Back line. Right off. No.
No.
Never. Never. Close.
Start to break.
No. Whoa. Where are you for Wait?
Yeah,
back
close.
line. Back line. Back line. Whoa. Yep.
Hard, Shan. Hard.
It's good. It's a little bit less weight than I thought.
Starting to grind in a little bit maybe because that did slow down a lot as it came near the house.
Yeah, I think it's flattening out a little bit, Linda. It's in the slide path area. It's late in the game.
But if they do it once,
That's a pretty good shot just the same. I think that's a good shot.
Much better looking house. The yellow is
think
second
here.
shot and in front of shot stone means it can be used.
okay? Just sort of, just suck it around so that it's kind of offset. That's what I was giving you. That's what I was giving Donna, and it doesn't come close, but I think I need that.
Top 12 weight, I think so.
Yeah, well, not even top 12.
No, I know, but
Guys, we're 1 and 3. She's got multiple stuff to run in there, so let's get around our rock, half the rock, covering theirs and preventing yellow stone.
I'll get there.
Tight guard, 15 and a half.
Yeah.
Oh, where? 4, 3. Okay, it's getting better. Line's good. Got it, Ben. Gonna have to finish it at the end. Yep. Yes. Get over Gotta get around yellow. Whoa. Atta girl.
Sherry Anderson playing the red stones is the shot stone, looking to steal here in 9.
I don't think we're picking that. I'd be awfully, because it has to come at least.
You could pick it this way.
Yeah,
but
I
barely.
think that's tough because I'd have to really hit
Barely,
that yellow
I know.
high.
You would.
I think
Okay,
we just try
I like
running it in
Yeah, I like it, Shan.
and catching here, right?
Yeah.
Double peel's good too.
Okay, so we want to. Where do you want to hit? We want to hit this one here.
Yeah.
So basically, you want to hit half almost, right? Higher than half?
Yeah, half-ish.
Okay.
A little bit more than half.
Yeah.
The double peel would be great
No,
for
it's
her.
half.
Okay.
Well, she's talking about the yellow onto red and maybe catching the yellow in
Half
the house. Looked at the dangers of doing that.
Oh, what am I doing?
Getting ready to.
If you get rid of them though, Linda, it's a plus.
Shannon Kleibrink and her first.
No.
She does have the hammer.
A little bit more. Okay.
Oh, and she'll drive it by.
It's good.
A little bit more than half.
Yeah.
Tap, right?
Quite a bit more.
Lie 2. Come on to this. We're sitting 2. But then she can come on, because our shooter's right on top of it. Making sure there's She's got nothing over here other than the
Sherry
run.
Anderson has called
There's
time.
nothing off that.
No. Clock was still running.
Well, I'm just thinking if I tap it at a
So I've
bad
looked
angle.
to see to make sure it stops. If you stay on the high side and come onto this, then that gives her an opening to draw to here.
Wow. And what if I come on the high side and do this?
Well, what if you do? So then you
If I
do
open
that.
it, if I push this to there,
Okay, but
and
our
give her
shooter,
half a rock.
but our shooter's going to be right here. It'll be for 1 point. She'd have a half rock pick for 1. I like playing
Wow.
it.
But not if I come here and punch this to here and sit there. She smashes, both those are gone, and she's got 3 in the 4-foot, and mine's not. Do you like the tap on that? Kim's wondering if we should tap.
I like
Or we
line
shouldn't
2.
Well, can't I tap this and push this out here? She's got a nose hit double. That's the danger, I think. And if I over curl,
No. 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 She's got nothing over here, though.
Well, I guess you just gotta make sure you're airing.
I just got to make sure I make it, right?
Well, or you can do air.
You can even go here.
But what if I just split it off? I give her
If you plain split it off, Sherry, she's got to hit the pin. And if she comes back to this, she's not shot. And if she is, we're 2 down playing 9.
got a little
Giving
bit
her
of
1
option.
isn't terrible. You can go.
Well, I don't think I need to guard it.
No,
That's
there's
the
no
thing.
other guard
I don't
there.
think I need. I mean, she can play the tap, tap, tap. Okay.
I like
know,
it.
I know the
think
greedy
you can make
nature,
it.
but
Yeah.
And after all that, they're playing what?
The raise. Raising the Redstone top 12.
Yeah. I don't think you'll need that. Yep.
That one there.
Did they
Straight nose and keep our shoes.
straight
dissect it well?
Either try and protect the
Donna,
one that's
make
in
sure
there,
to
Vic, or
update
try
me
and
on
get
the
a
weight,
second one
okay?
in, and they've opted to
Heather,
try and get a second stone in, first and second shot around that button area, and
Come around.
make it very complicated for Shannon with her last.
I gave you about that kind of ice for the come around in the center, right?
Pretty much the same spot that you ran it straight back, wasn't it?
Mine was right on the center line, basically. I'm further this way.
Only thing we need to be careful with that now is without that rock there. If you ever
Yeah.
ran it into the corner,
Give him
and you
2.
give them 2.
Hard line.
6, 7.
Hard line. Yep, line. Hard line. Hard line. Hard line.
Anderson's final stone.
Hard line.
Walsh and Gignac with a huge scrub now, trying to bump up that stone.
Well. No, there's no double.
And it'll over curl.
Good shot. That works. That's all right.
Does it work?
Okay.
Well, it wasn't what they were playing. They were playing to
Enough of the 4?
punch it back in for to lie 2, but
That's what we have to try.
Sherry
you guys
Anderson's
got in the
been
yellow
light
eye
on
through?
a number of her shots since about the 8th end on, 7th end on.
A third. A little more.
Yeah, but it can only come.
I want to take
Yeah,
a
right
peek at
there.
the game between Betker and Jones in a 7-7 tie. Both teams at 3 losses.
Well, not hit it.
Jan Betker out of the Cali in Regina does have the hammer, playing the Redstones. And so Colleen Jones just saying a little less to Nancy Delahunt, holding the brush. This is the final stone of the 10th for Colleen Jones.
Colleen had a great opportunity here. If she'd gotten that rock that sits at the top 12 foot, which we'll see in a moment,
I don't think it's there.
frozen on the angle of the shot that was,
It isn't enough. Like,
because she had a shot behind that a moment ago, and she could have really made this difficult. This is a good looking shot here.
I think we've just enough.
All depends on weight now.
Needs to sit in a hurry. And now you have a look. And did it stop in time? Betker has a look. So does her third, Sherry Linton. Who's shot? Do I have to throw it?
Good. Back 8. 8. Whoa. 8. Weight's perfect.
Kleibrink, her last, is on its way.
Weight's perfect.
Yep, all day. I think it's red. But we'll play this anyway. Right? We can't hurt ourselves.
Angle it up, move it back.
Nice shot.
Pretty much edge of 8.
To get the one, Kleibrink.
Very nice shot.
6-4, she'll lead as they go to the 10th.
I think we're
Kleibrink sitting at that 3 losses.
okay.
Now Jan Betker has gone down to throw. She believes she is shot.
Let her know where it is, eh? I think I'd still play the intern if I were them. Yeah.
I don't think Colleen realizes that they believe the redstone that's in the house is shot, so you wouldn't touch it if you really believe it.
You play the shot she's playing. She thinks the red is shot for sure. She said to the girls that.
Jan Becker's last stone. And you'll miss everything. So we're going to, I would think, they'll call for a measure.
Holy crap, I didn't think I had that much weight on it. Holy shit.
Now, as you look at it, what do you think, Ray? That's pretty close.
It looks like red to me.
Yeah? All right, well, Jan Betker thought it was hers. The loser falls to 4 losses.
I think it's red too, Dick.
Okay.
It's very close, you're right.
So that's the Jones stone, and around we come. And we'll watch the micrometer. If it just jumps, and it does. That's your shot stone.
What? It's red. I know it's red.
One more time, just to make sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Thanks, Kim.
One more try.
Thanks, Nancy.
It's a very important measurement, as we say. The loser drops to 4 losses. Past experience tells us that in the trials, the 2 previous trials, 4 losses was too many to get you anything. And there's no question.
Yeah, it's red.
It is red. And so Jan Betker will win it over Colleen Jones. Jones goes to 2 and 4.
The 2005 Tim Hortons Canadian Curling Trials on TSN are brought to you in part by Strauss Herb Company, makers of the original Strauss Heart Drops, when only the best will do. By Scott Paper Limited, proud sponsor of curling for 25 years. And by Ford, built for life in Canada.
Here are all the finals for you. Sherry Madar is a 10-4 winner over Marie-France LaRouche, improving her record to 4 and 2. We showed you the measure, and that was an important measure for Jan Betker. She stays at 3 losses. Kelly Scott stays tied for the lead with a record of 5 and 1 with a win over Jennifer Jones. And it's an 8-6 win for Stephanie Lawton to stay tied for the lead. And in our featured game, Shannon Kleibrink and Sherry Anderson going to the 10th. Anderson playing the Redstones, has the hammer, but trailing by 2, 6-4.
Well, there's already been 3 big mistakes. The execution in this game was pretty good to start, but it could be the pressure. It has not been as good the last few ends. And here, Kleibrink had a stone come short that should have been in. Glennis Bacher just missed a peel completely. And Anderson had a rock on a come-around attempt go all the way through. So they've really struggled this end.
Yeah, I mean, the rock coming up short is absolutely a disaster. It puts the rock out in front, and you're up 2. You don't have the hammers, and the opposition can now use it. And then there was the 2 misses after that, Linda. Really, it was.
Hop,
to board. No, it's board.
Maybe nerves, it may be something, but
Needs to curl a lot. It's at least board.
not a lot of shots being made.
Come on, come on, it's coming up. No, it's no good. It's right on there. Hard, Jen. Hard, 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 hard.
Atta girl.
Bacher just catches enough to push it out the back.
Same weight, Heather. We'll place it better for you.
Heather Walsh
Tighter line.
throwing the second stones for Sherry Anderson out of Delisle, Saskatchewan, with a record of 3 and 2.
6, 7.
Kleibrink at 2 and 3.
Is it?
Same. More. Hair more. Might as well go deep.
Yep. Yep.
Atta girl.
Whoa, whoa.
All right.
All right.
Decision time.
What do you like?
So here are the standings at the moment. Lawton and Scott remain tied for the lead at 5 and 1. Madaw
It's a really
is one
long
game
run
back.
You
You
leave
can
the
see
guard
the
after
importance for
getting
Sherry Anderson. If she should lose this, she drops to 3 losses to join Jennifer Jones.
I think we're going because they're going around that.
Jan Betker with her win stays at 3. Shannon Kleibrink
Kinda with
hoping
ya.
to stay at 3. And
They don't have
now
about
at 4
this.
losses. And one still winless team, LaRouche.
Let's go. We don't have all the time in the world. I think we gotta go. I think we gotta go around. You don't?
All time.
Okay, that's
Time.
2, I believe.
Time.
Second timeout called. You're given 2 1-minute timeouts, of course, plus your 73 minutes to play the game.
You don't like to be critical in situations like this, but there has been so much indecision in this game, Linda, actually by both sides in some cases.
Yeah, but where to?
Right on it.
Now this is a very
But then
important
they just have the easy
decision,
touch
of course,
double.
if you're
Can't you see
deciding to
enough
go
of that yellow?
listen to that.
No.
See quite a bit.
Okay, if we come right to it, we're okay.
I know.
Okay. Right to it.
You could peel this.
Okay. Yep, right to it then.
You could come around.
Okay. Right to it.
You're 2 up. You can give up 2, but the minute you make this decision, you bring the factor of 3 into play.
I'd be tempted to peel. At this stage, the execution has been difficult, as I said, and I'd be tempted to peel, force the other team to set something up either behind the guard or on the corner of your yellow. If they make a mistake, you have a hit to sit to or a double, possibly. And otherwise, then you might be forced to draw. But
Okay, we're good for weight. We're to it.
Aren't there words to live by here? Isn't there something like, get rid of it?
Well, what she's afraid of happening is that if she peels, they go in behind the other guard, then they can put 2 stones in behind it. But there is a yellow stone on the just almost butting the 4-foot. So she can cut the play down by getting in there first, and Amy has played very, very well in this game.
She's been terrific.
So
Suddenly that came up, I guess.
they were worried that if they put it where they just did, this double was there.
yes, and it is there.
A little less. A little less.
They were saying
Yep.
either higher or right back on
Just
the red.
hit it to bounce it out in the open. Okay, just give me regular, no more.
0.
Right?
Yep.
Aim straight up.
Well, both thirds have performed very well. 88% so far for Amy Nixon, 92%.
Close.
Kim Hodge.
Yep. Yes! 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 Yes!
Good Lord.
Hurry!
Got 1, got 2, moves them both.
You got this. Shot.
What Kim was screaming about is actually let up on the
You like the
rushing
same
for a
way or
reason,
like
and
this
she
way
didn't know
now?
why, and
I
it
think we are
just
same,
got by.
same.
It did, and because of all the jiggling, it also spilled deep. This is a must shot for Amy. She can get to the face of the red one. She can negate both of them.
Wait's good.
Yeah, she can take the end right away, but you've got to make it now or you're in big trouble.
You can't yeah, we gotta go. It's like 6, Shan. 7, 6, 7, 7, 7, 7, 6, 6, 6. No, you can't. You can't go when you're here anyways.
We're here. We're here.
You can't go.
Well, the brushers are going to have to be careful because they wanted to brush that saying it was light. It's still sliding. We haven't seen in this particular path anything happen to the pebble, so they're going to have to watch it. You also get that adrenaline pumping and get a little excited. You've got to really take a look at these.
Whoa, off, Heather. Off. Off. Whoa.
8.
Off.
Whoa.
Off. Come on, baby. Catch the curl. There it goes. Got it, curl, baby.
Yeah.
Got it, curl, curl. Got it, curl.
We're 8.
Curl, curl,
We're
curl.
bouncing things, though, aren't
Yeah,
we?
we are.
Okay.
Make sure.
All right.
Linda, go back to Shannon's game against Kelly Scott. Scott was down by 3, scored 3 in the 10th, stole the game in the extra. Similarities here for Kleibrink or not?
Well, both had a little bit of execution problem. I think in the other one, Shannon was intending for more rocks to stay in play and got caught. This one, she actually was trying to limit it and just didn't get the execution.
Not a lot of time, guys.
Throw the double.
I know.
Okay, Sean, let's do it.
Right on it.
Here?
Keep it on the high side. Yeah.
They don't have any timeouts remaining.
Okay, we're good.
I mean, they freeze to it, then you can't even get another rock in there.
Well, I know. But you know
right
what? If she
now-
offsets this, she's got to get right to the nose there, Sherry.
Now, the line is very important. Yes, a freeze can take the end away, but you have to be right in front of it. If you leave any angles, it can be bounced out.
Line only. Well, we're good for weight, actually.
Gotta wait. Gotta wait.
Well, if you can.
Close. Gotta wait.
7 on its own.
Looking for close to 14 still
Stay
on this
close.
sheet of ice.
Stay close.
It's good.
Are we to it?
Yep.
Yep.
Sideways. Whoa.
Caught something maybe?
yep,
It really took off there.
Line was fine
went
when across the hog line, but it really went sideways. The weight was.
Yeah, lost its turn and then it went. No, I mean it completely went the other way and then big time. It grabbed up there, eh?
Oh, just. I don't know.
I think it grabbed something, Linda.
It sort of deadened the handle.
Yeah.
It didn't look like it came in
No, I
a
know,
normal
I know.
fashion.
If you don't throw lots of rotation, that happens sometimes. That kind of goes sideways on you.
Sherry Anderson looking for a deuce to tie the game, and there's a little bit of room left on that button.
Anderson with the hammer.
HB7.
Line's good. Where are we?
Needs 2 to tie.
7. Line's good.
She has
Yep.
1
Room.
in position.
We're 7. Whoa. Whoa. Wait, whoa, it's real close. You gotta balance it a bit. No. You gotta balance it, guys. Hard. Hard. We gotta get second shot. Hard,
Right to it.
Balance it.
Hurry!
Okay.
No bounce.
No, I just had to get to it is all. I didn't.
And Kleibrink, decision made, hustles down.
Yep. Yeah, that's all we can do.
Still a minute and a half remaining on the time clock for Kleibrink as she
Yep.
gets ready to throw her last. And
Give
where's
it a
she
little more
going with this?
rotation, you guys.
She's guarding
Yeah,
the
I think we
hole,
can afford
Vic.
to take a little more, no?
Okay.
Line's
Whoa.
good.
Whoa,
Clean
Chris.
it.
Don't even look at it. It's heavy.
It's not light, I'll tell you that.
And again, she said it was
No,
heavy.
we're good. We're 4. Starting to cut. Right off.
Here it
no.
comes.
No. Never. Starting to come down. It's coming down. It's coming down. Sit.
Very
Sit.
nice. Very nice shot.
Okay, Shan.
All right, Sherry Anderson has 50 seconds and 1 timeout, and she uses it right now.
No, it's too hard to do it with
but
hers.
can I go into this though and just spin this there?
Yeah.
I mean, as long I got to get. If I get onto this,
What are you talking of playing? Are you talking the
That
yellow
one.
or the red?
That one.
Shit,
Right?
She took it away. No.
No, I got to hit the yellow. I got to
yeah.
hit the yellow. Right? Hit that, but I got to spin this into the button.
Yeah, I think I like playing.
What can I do with the yellow?
Well, I'm thinking you can come and just tap this to here. Or tap it right on to here, just for 2. This is barely there, Sherry.
You think, or what? We got to decide.
Well,
I think it's there, Kim, but
Okay.
maybe not. Okay. Tap.
Yeah.
Tap with some weight.
Yeah.
Get it across.
Dot,
and
dot,
then-
dot, dot, dot.
Yep.
Well, what they looked at was this. And I think this here into there.
Right.
But I think they're right. I think this
Throw about a
rock
16.
here has taken it away.
Yeah.
So we'll just clear that.
Gotta get
So they're going to come down and tap this one here
a hair across it.
onto that one and try and make it second shot for the extra end.
In turn on that sheet, trying to, can you not get by that guard close enough to chip the yellow in the 4-foot across, or is that not there?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, flying. Whoa, whoa.
10.
Whoa.
Final stone.
No, right on.
Sherry Anderson needs 2 to tie.
Close. No, never, 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 never. Atta girl.
That's a good shot.
Oh, boy! The smile from the Lyle gets the 2. That's the way to do it. We're going to go in extra.
And I'll maybe make
Yeah,
2 shots
very
this time.
big game for both these teams at the Canadian Curling Trials.
The 2005 Tim Hortons Canadian Curling Trials on TSN are brought to you by Tim Hortons Limited Canister and Mug.
Jeff Stoughton. Brad Gushu. And they will hook up in our featured game when we join you again for the 6th draw of men's play. Comes your way at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. Both are at 4-1. We have still one game to decide in this 6th draw of women's competition, and that's Anderson and Kleibrink as we go to the extra of a 6-6 tie. And Kleibrink playing the Yellowstones will have the hammer.
Well, earlier in the game, I talked about Amy Nixon being a little up and down with her consistency this week. This game has been up and down. We've had momentum swings and
Yeah, we're going for hog
execution
line.
issues,
That's
and then
fine.
great shots. And that was a great shot to finish off 10 for Sherry Anderson. A little double tap, and here we are in an extra.
2, we should go 3.
We're 3 to 2, guys. Whoa, whoa. Well, I think we've got to take it as far as we can. So there's room on top.
Okay, good shot.
It's good.
Was that the key shot? Brought to you by Cashmere. Now Cottonelle has an even softer name, Cashmere.
Well, you'd have to call it the key shot because it got you the extra end. Beck, she was in a little bit of trouble. She had to play a raise, tap back, and she throws exactly the perfect weight. They had to wait a long time for it.
No, never.
Starts to make the big move now. There's the raise on her own, pushes it on the butt. If you don't make that, you're on your way home. Rock on the center line. Shannon comes around.
Eyeball it,
The come around isn't exactly the spot you want. It's sort of the edge of the button. You'd love it to be in front of the button, blocking the way. I call it the anchor. It's trying to prevent the other team from getting at the button once they first have a chance to play the come around, because you can't peel the team with the hammer until second stones.
Good shot, Donna. Good shot. It's okay. Good shot.
They're a little closer than they
so
wanted
hard
to
today?
be, because the guards, once they can be
Across the face,
peeled.
tick.
Well, this is where you have to make a decision. At the moment, the double peel on those two is fairly easy because of the closeness. Shannon's going to try the tick on it.
Let's do it. You like those? You don't like? Don't mind it. No.
Okay, sorry. Board or hack? Hack. Hack. Just
Okay.
to tick it. Yep. Whoa, 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 whoa. It's got to cross center, guys. Whoa. Yeah.
Yep,
Whoa. No.
yep,
Never.
yep,
Never.
Yep. Hard. 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 Take the second one.
Oh shoot! It ticked it. She was good. Okay. It's all right. Sit. Good try. Nice weight. Sit.
And not enough. It'll come back. You said that, Ray, that we're not seeing as many ticks because of the 4-rock rule. Is that right?
There's two rocks out in front.
Kind of in this
That was
channel,
close.
I don't know, Sherry. Does that? It was dead on it, right?
Was it dead on?
Yeah.
I knew we wouldn't get the back one.
Freeze to that.
When there was only the one
Tap
rock,
even.
Right.
3-rock rule, which we played for a number of years in Canada, the tick was tried out on a regular basis, and usually across the face.
Mine's good. 8.
What'd you get?
Roll. Let it bend then.
7.
Yep. Yep. Hurry! Hard.
6.
Hard. Hurry!
7.
Right up. Right up. Good shot.
All right.
I don't know. I got a 7.
Let's recap this game, this draw, brought to you by Strauss Herb Company. Trust the tradition.
Well, what a change in the standings at the bottom, but still the same two at the top. Stephanie Lawton and Kelly Scott with wins, so they're sitting at 5-1. Sherry Medall hanging in for second position, at least second best record at 4-2. So we did see teams fall down to that 4-loss mark.
Don't shoot it. Oh, good try.
Hard, 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 hard.
Well, those rocks were nice and close together, so that was a great opportunity for the double peel, but just Jonas just missed it.
Right in on top.
Let's come this way though.
Why? So maybe a thing.
Wow, Heather.
Yeah. I like giving her the same
No,
shot
we'll
twice.
go the same way. Sorry.
Okay.
Yep.
92.
Mine's good.
Left.
Mine's good.
5.
Room. Room. Yep.
5, 6.
Yep.
Still going. 7.
Mine's good. Whoa, whoa.
7.
Whoa, then.
Whoa.
Whoa. Whoa.
Our fault.
Okay.
See any? See any of this?
Yeah, more of this one.
More of this one?
More of this one, yeah.
Maybe we should just get this one out of here.
I'll just peel the
This
guard.
one looks easier.
Which way's easier?
What about
This
the
way?
guard?
This one looks, I can see more
Okay,
of this
board. Board. Guards are right.
The secret here is if you do get by, great, but you cannot leave the front rock out. You heard her say guard's okay, and the guard is fine. You chip the guard off, fine.
Good board.
Soft, maybe.
Not a lot of wake.
Hurry! It's gonna cut crazy. Go, 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 go! Oh!
throw.
You can see Shannon's concern. Those rocks were so close to the button. Even if you just peeled, she would be concerned about eventually getting at them. So nice shot by Glennis.
Great brushing on this too, Vic.
And Glennis has struggled.
She has.
Yes.
It's a big shot for her. But that guard's still there.
Close, clean, yep. Whoa. Clean. Yes! Hard!
Hurry!
Whoa!
I got it. Good shot.
Rod Smith will have the next edition of Sports Center. Make a note of the time, 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific. Baseball winter meetings are on in Houston. Reports overnight and early this morning had the Toronto Blue Jays
Probably move it at least off this one.
possibly signing A.J. Burnett. So find out
Okay,
if that's developed.
Well, you can get it off the button by coming off your own as well.
Little more than Glennis's. Whoa! Little more than Glennis's. Whoa! No, we got our own. Right off. Okay.
All right. Corner that. Or guard. Or straight guard.
Yeah, straight guard.
Okay.
Maybe you should go long, Kim. That's probably perfect there, eh?
Out there.
We apologize for the
Okay, that same weight.
video interruption as we welcome you back to the Metro
Can be a
Center
little
here in
tight.
Halifax
We could have stopped that.
as we play in this extra.
Yeah, 3. So.
And it's Sherry Anderson playing the Redstones. Line 1, center line.
Yeah, should work.
Looking to steal. Shannon Kleibrink with the hammer. And we're down to the final 2 stones. This will be the last for Anderson.
Well, Shannon Kleibrink had a good chance with her last stone to get by a very long guard. Sherry Anderson's first stone was very long as far as a guard goes, but Shannon was inside the target line, crashed on the guard, so Sherry will try and put it in a better place and make it even harder to get at that shot stone.
A little bit. No!
Finish it!
Okay, go a little bit. Little bit more.
It's a big game for both teams, as we've mentioned. Anderson at 2 losses, Kleibrink is at 3. And remember, we've already seen Kelly Scott and Stephanie Lawton win. They're at 5 and 1.
If we nose it and just sit there, we shot.
Sherry Madaw has won. She's at 4 and 2.
And I think that might be easier, isn't it?
It is really whatever you want to do.
Side of the pin or the nose hit?
Need a piece.
Well, she had a golden opportunity with her first one, and she just threw it a touch inside. The weight looked okay, Linda.
Haven't drawn in a long
but she never
time.
gave
I
it a
haven't ever
chance.
drawn
She
over here.
didn't.
You guys know what it is?
If you get it out to the stick a little bit, and you can stay off it and let it come.
A little straighter, though, a little keener. I think this might be an easier shot. Even if we nose it, we're shot. Like, even if we don't get rid of it, we're shot. I think.
So she thinks the run back is easier, Linda.
She does. She's saying it can either be the double or hit the redstone dead on. Only problem is if you jiggle the yellow at all as you're making contact, you might actually push the yellow one out. But let's face it, the front of the button is covered by that red stone. It would look poor from the other end. Sherry Anderson put the guard on pretty well. You can't see much of that button.
Okay.
Shannon's also using the factor that she hasn't drawn in a while and doesn't really feel like she knows the weight.
Final stone of this extra end. In a 6-6 tie, looking to run it back.
Yes!
Run back double for Shannon Kleibrink. How close are they? Get it, pick it off, move it back. What a shot!
Great shot.
Shannon Kleibrink.
That is a great shot, mister, I'll tell you. Those are not easy. Those are very difficult. What a great shot.
And what a win.
Another look at it. Perfect. I think she was right in playing that one, though, Linda. It was easier than that shot in front of the net.
So what it does to the standings? Well, we've got the two teams with one loss, of course, and that's Lawton and Scott, then Madaw. And now they're bunched up at 3 with Anderson and Jones, and Kleibrink stays there with Betker, and then Jones, Colleen, and Rizzo at 4, and hoping to stay alive with 3 draws of women's play left. Back with you at 6:30 Eastern Time, 3:30 Pacific for a battle of first-place teams, Stoughton and Gushu, both at 4-1. Yeah. They were doing the bunny hop. Some great curling. Stay with us. Champions League soccer coming right up. Inter and Rangers. Now on behalf of Linda and Ray and our entire crew, thanks for joining us. The Canadian Curling Trials on Canada's sports leader, TSN.